This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 319, and we are recording on March 10th, 2025. I'm Doug, and joining me today, we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform, sub to us on YouTube, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the nation. Anita is back.
Oh, welcome back.
I am.
Now that she's here, we can say she was a little sick.
How you feeling?
She's back now.
How you feeling?
She's healthy. She's gonna assist us with our VAR problem later in the show. That's why we need her. We need stability on the show. A house without a foundation cannot stand, and Anita is the foundation of this podcast. No after hours this week because we have decided to cover 5 songs.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let me just talk about the big new releases, how they were chosen this week, right?
Yeah.
I gave people 5 votes this week because there were so many songs. The 5 songs that won, surprisingly, NMIXX pre-release with High Horse, Jennie Like Jennie, this is like the actual drop of the album song. Like, this is the song, right? We have J-Hope's Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel. ITZY Yeji had a solo debut with Air. Seulgi from Red Velvet dropped Baby Not Baby. Other songs that we're not going to get to this week. 17 Hoshi and Uzi unit debut with Beam. It just didn't win on the votes. Also, what was the other ones here? Treasure Yellow didn't make the cut. And then the one song, this one I'm gonna have to put on the poll last week because I didn't know it was coming out, is XG's Is This Love, which is a B-side from their last album, but I didn't know it was coming out.
Yeah.
That's my bad. It'll be included in next week's chart or next week's poll to pick the songs at a minimum.
Cool. Thank you for doing that.
Hey, we got 5 songs this week. We got 4 soloists at NMIXX. Let's talk with NMIXX though. High Horse pre-release. They are from JYP. Last 3 songs: See That, Dash, and Sonyar. This is one of those songs where you're like, okay, NMIXX children, I didn't know you had this in you, you know? Like, it just kind of happens.
NMIXX children, okay.
Who would have thought they'd be like this kind of slow but drum and bass infused, like singing song? Who thought we would have got that from them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like at the core of it, it still lines up with how they presented themselves in the beginning. Like, from the very beginning, the mix in NMIXX is supposed to be mix different sounds and genres into one cohesive. That was their thing, you know? Like, that was where OO came from, you know? And that was where some of these recent songs have been coming from. And I feel like that approach still lines up. Like, crazily enough, that is not a gimmick they threw away with after like 2 comebacks, you know? That's crazy, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Did you like it though?
I think it works.
Did we like it? Okay, Anita liked it.
No, I liked it. I think we mentioned it's a pre-release, right? I think this to me makes sense as a pre-release because it's not super high energy, which is what I would associate with the title track, which I think NMIXX has done typically, like more of a hard hitting, more high energy track for the main thing. So I like that they're showing their range because this is very much leaning towards how should I say, like more on the atmosphere that the song is creating, more on like the choreography, like the soundscape they're creating. Because it was very, I don't know, I feel like there were a lot of details that were given to it, even as a pre-release that I don't usually see in their main releases. So I thought that was really nice. I think they're expanding their sound in a way.
Doug, do you care to comment?
I really enjoy this track, straight up. I think, for me, might be a hot take. This is a top 3 NMIXX song for me.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
I thought that this was great. Like, just the vibes we're hitting here were immaculate. They were great. They were, as Nadia said, the word atmospheric. This song is like, holy shit. When I think of NMIXX in my head, I think of Wemo Check Haewon. I think of Lily randomly dancing. I think of Bae acting a fool. You know, those type of kids, right?
Yeah.
When But when NMIXX gets serious, you remember that one time NMIXX dropped that acapella video of them singing their songs but acapella? And I was like, I think I even mentioned it on the show that week. And I said, this shit is amazing. Let's do more of this shit. I guess I was really hinting at, let's just do more singy tracks. We don't need to do anything too crazy. We don't need a NMIXX change up or anything crazy like that. But for some reason, this thing just works for me.
I think that's a pretty fair statement to start with, because I do feel like the strongest suit of the track is how well showcased all the vocals are. Like, fuck me, Lily sounds so good.
Lily's so good.
Oh my fucking god, Lily sounds great.
Kyujin too.
Kyujin sounds great. Both on those choruses.
I was really surprised. Yeah.
Like, Haewon sounds great too. Like, those three folks were my highlights. They sound amazing.
Yep.
Bae typically is also another vocalist who I think is like very strong in this group. I think she strategically took a bit of a backseat here. We have Seolyun, who's taking more of a stronger role in the vocals. I felt like, maybe she was a little weaker in comparison to the other members. Not an issue though, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, it maybe in comparison to the other members, but like, in comparison to the rest of the folks on the scene, I feel like she was very strong. And I feel like a lot of the emotions and the lyrics, they kind of ride on like their vocal capabilities. Because I feel like in order to put out a song like this, if you don't have the vocal like range and the vocal capabilities, this is not gonna work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is just not a song that, like, no offense, this is not a song Twice could pull off. I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
You said that.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say it.
Like,
You said I get what you mean though.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like shit on me all you want, all day. So I do think that is the craziest part. That the fact that they decided to release this. Now, songwriting. If you look at the songwriting, of the song, it mostly follows a ballad-like melody with a chord progression, and then they do a kind of a call and response with the members singing, and then there's these massive fucking break chord drum and bass drums.
Yeah.
It sounds, I don't know, it almost sounded acoustic. I wasn't really sure how they came up with that, but I mean, I'm not gonna digest how they made it. It felt like they weren't intentionally going heavy into the raw, edgy, industrial aspect. Like there was some of that here. The core industrialness of NMIXX that's been there since OO. It's still kind of here, but they're not leaning heavy into it. On top of that, they threw in some jazzy moments with like standing basses here and there. To me, I felt like the arrangement was very ambitious with what it tried to do, but it kind of felt flat a little bit, kind of felt a tad bit repetitive.
Okay. Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Okay, here's the thing. I love experimental pop music. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like, for example, Nong, which is an album by Shin Ji-hang, already one of the most experimental shit I've heard this year, already on my, top albums to watch out of the year list, whatever. So like, I don't know, like if you want to do experimental sounds and go for it, I feel like you have that inherent risk of that just not working out. And I felt like this was an example where the members did great with the vocals. Production wise, I don't know, I think it was a little more ambitious than they could actually pull off. So I don't know. I feel like some parts were very strong, but some parts were very, But I mean, Anita, it sounded like you kind of agree with that.
I did. I think for me, the first listen that I had, I was like, oh, this is very, very nice, very different. I saw the performance, the practice room version first, so I heard the song all the way through, right? Because I think there's another video where they have a bit of a visualizer to it, like there's like them in the video, right? And it's short, it's like a minute and a half, so it's not the full song. So I saw the performance version first, so it felt like, to me, I felt like the choreography is because very modern art inspired, modern dance, I should say, modern dance inspired. Did a lot of the creating and of like the emotion too, Whereas the instrumental, I thought was like you mentioned, it's a little bit acoustic. It's not, how should I say it? It's not that it's too simple. It's just that it is quite very much the same thing. Like once you hear like the first couple, like the first verse, that you know how the rest of the song for the most part will sound, which is why I think the chorus for me was so nice, because it was deviating from that pattern. The vocals came in, and I think maybe a little bit of the like synths, very very nice synths came in the melody too. That was my favorite part, because in the chorus it felt like, oh, we're breaking that repetition from the verses. It feels nice. Maybe that's the point, and I don't mind it, but I did feel at times that, oh, this is, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, the piano and then going to the drums, and then piano going to the drums. That pattern, I feel like it felt a little still at times, but then the vocals were kind of like trying to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it took me a while to get into it, because I was waiting for the chorus. Like I was trying to get through the verses to get to the chorus, if that makes sense.
I do, like, if I can put a solution to it, or like, I don't know, like to brainstorm a little bit rather than just complaining about it. I do feel like there was okay, on one hand, I recognize that they are pop musicians. They make pop music that needs to be digested by the mass public. But at the same time, like, I feel like we could have had something that's a little edgier and a little farther, a little more alternative, you know, like a little more experimental with the sound. And I feel like it still could have worked, because there have been, you know, examples of K-pop musicians doing more raw, industrial, you know, dark sounds. And I think they work really well. And I feel like that contrast was where it wasn't really completely sold. The jazz samples, I felt like they were just kind of thrown on for the sake of it, not gonna lie. But like, I don't know. Other than like that is me purely saying I was a little hungry. I was a little hungry for more. Like I got
you wanted more.
Right. I liked what I got. It was a nice like the seasoning, but like, you know, a little bit more. You know, my appetite still, you know, still hungry.
Despite that, though, this shit's pretty good. Is it not?
It's really
good.
Fucking good.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I'm very
also
excited. Yeah.
You know who worked on the lyrics a little bit? PH1 is a part of the lyric team on this one.
He did. Mr.
Yeah.
Shuwon.
Oh.
You also have. Do you guys remember You Mean Collapsed 1 by any chance?
No.
I used to fanboy over it a while back. Going back to all the Fromis 9 title tracks that were like DM, We Go, that whole run there. He also worked on Boy. No, what was that song? Twice? The Feels by Twice.
The Feels.
Yeah. DM by Fromis 9. Believe by Billy.
Okay.
I really liked some of the stuff he's done, and I feel like this is probably some of the more out there stuff that I've heard from this songwriter. I can't say that I think everything worked out perfectly, but I think what I got is a good meal. You know what I mean? Maybe maybe a little more.
You know, I feel like NMIXX has cultivated a lot of goodwill in K-pop. I don't know how to like quantify that, but I feel like, you remember back in the day, we were like, what is this shit? Shug, right? You know, I remember when they debuted, we were like, what the F are we doing?
Remember
what are we doing
Dumb
here?
Stupid?
We had questions, yeah.
I know. And like, even, let's roll the dice, yeah. You remember that song? We were like, okay, that's fun, but that's about it, right? And then we got from, right when we hit Love Me Like This, like, onwards, they've been cooking, right? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been great the last like year and a half of NMIXX. I'm really excited now about the title track, which is Know About Me, and I think it comes out during the next week, March 17th. So in a week, right? We're getting the title track.
Next week.
This is exciting, right? They're exciting as a group.
Is.
and they're very culturally relevant in Korea because of Wemo Check. Honestly, people are aware of NMIXX in Korea.
People have been saying
Good,
that they cannot wait for NMIXX to be like a couple of years older, so that OA1 has more time in between comebacks to be on variety shifts. I don't know if that's a good thing for or a bad thing for NMIXX. But
Essentially, you know how like I don't want to stereotype, but you know how every once in a while like an idol becomes like a fixture on Korean variety shows. Most recently, I would say like a Miju, right, is become a fixture on variety.
Yeah.
That's Haewon's future. And say or another recent one, Oh My Girl Mimi is now on a lot of variety stuff, right? That is Haewon's destiny. It is definitely her destiny in the future is to be fixed on a bunch of stuff.
She's really fun.
Have you-
yeah.
on a side note, have you guys heard of the 6 month rule by any chance?
What is that?
This is a viral word on Korean social media. Essentially, if you look at 4th gen to 5th gen K-pop girl groups, in order to be successful in the long run, you need to be successful within the 6 month of debut period. So like, with IVE, we had
7.
His debut.
right 11,
Yeah.
and then the other one, Love Dive, yeah.
Yeah.
aespa didn't really do that well with Black Mamba, but they had
Mamba. Next level.
Next level,
Next
yeah.
level.
So the people are saying that in order to be successful, like Le Seraphim had Anti-Fragile, New Jeans was popular right off the bat. People are arguing that in order to be successful, you need to have something within the first half an year. I am very much hoping that maybe NMIXX can be the exception to that rule of this generation,
I think they are. Yeah.
right? I think
I feel like
I would
it.
say it is confirmed at this point, I think.
Oh.
Because they're pretty good.
I think they can still go higher. They haven't peaked yet, is what I'm saying.
For a group that's at a big company, they feel like underdogs, though, do they not? Like
I see.
they
Okay.
just give
Yeah.
up. They just give up the vibe. Like I'm not saying the music is relatable. The kids, the members seem relatable in this group, right? Like they just seem like a bunch of dopey kids who are in this giant company and they're doing well, right?
Well-
that's at least the vibe I get from watching their content.
Not to get into the whole Big Four conversation, but JYP and the way JYP has kind of positioned themselves in the market has always been a little bit more about, we're good kids, relatable, we work hard.
Yeah, and they're like, we'll hire you if you're not the best looking kid, but you gotta be talented. You just gotta have something. You gotta have that it,
Right.
That's what they've kind of branded themselves at. And YG's like, YG has been like, you don't have to be the best looking, but you have to be so extremely talented that it overrides that. SM has been, you gotta be good looking. JYP's like, do you have that little bit extra, that little bit going
charm.
on?
Charm.
That's something that we can't quantify. That's what it seems like.
Right. We obviously don't know what's happening with Vicha and whatever's happening there.
Goddamn, yeah.
But like in the overall sense of things, it does feel like JYP plays the underdog role within like that tier of labels.
Oh, for sure.
So
For sure.
there you go.
This is a nice track. We're excited for NMIXX.
Nice.
Let's get it. Let's pivot. We got our girl Jennie. She back at it. Dude, this
Back to
era
back
for
to back.
Jennie has been insane, right?
Oh, man.
Like
Yeah.
this week, her chicken date with Amelia Doiberg, whatever her last name is, the really long one,
Oh.
that dropped
Oh,
this
yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah.
The chicken date dropped, right? Once you're on that show, I know you're
Chicken chop
extremely
date.
culturally relevant, right? When you're on that, like you know how back in the day it was like if you're on Hot Ones, you're super relevant, right?
Oh.
For me though, I think like if you're on Chicken Date, you're like even more relevant. That's just how I think of it because it seems more like you're there for the lulz. But yeah, she was on that this week. But Jennie released Like Jennie. She's from Adelatir, however you pronounce that. The last 3 songs was Extra L, the one with Dochi. We had Love Hangover with Dominic Fike. We had Mantra. She also dropped the Handlebars music video with Dua Lipa today. This one's from a couple days ago.
That was a good
So,
song. Good song. Yeah.
There's that as well. But let's talk about Like Jennie. To me, right? You might think, you guys are probably not gonna like this. It's just like a bombastic, rappy song. You remember we were saying like, we were like, they don't have to be the lyricist. You remember that was the argument Warren made last week. People honestly agreed with him on that a lot. That was
Wait, sorry.
a
What
fun thing
take
to
is
see.
this? I'm a little confused.
You said like Lisa doesn't have to write all the raps. She can have other
Oh.
people help her. You remember that take you made?
Yeah.
And people honestly agreed with you, which was surprising.
I could see
With
that.
this type of Jennie track, you're probably thinking, "Oh, the SojuTalk people ain't gonna like this. It's too up in your face. It's too just like rap." No, this shit is banging, dude. Like, this was so fun. Was it not
That
fun?
was a fucking banger. Wait, what do you?
This is a
why would we
banger.
not like this? I like bangers.
This is the type of shit Jennie gotta be doing. Let's not try to be like a straight up rapper here. Let's just be a badass, because that's who you are in your core, you know? And I thought this song was so good. I thought the messaging was fun. It was earwormy. I'm gonna go, Jennie, 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 all the time, right? This just played into like all of her strengths, I thought.
I thought so
yeah.
too. Okay, first of all, speaking of the rap, I thought it was solid as hell. I thought it was some of the best rap I've heard from this
That second
lady.
verse.
Yeah, all these like the flow was good. Her tone sounds a lot more diverse. You know what I mean? Like typically,
Yes,
Jennie
in this
raps
one.
has that one tone. This one goes. It
Right.
feels like she's utilizing the whole diversity of tones. You know what I mean? The flow is really good. Like, you know what I mean? This is all really good here. The lyrics were really solid. Like that whole midsection, where she said, okay, I know the rap is for some reason suddenly in Korean, but she says, keep shading.
I love that part though.
Right? Do you know what part I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had that in my notes too, because I was like, oh, right after that chorus, it was really nice.
Right. Okay, so she says, keep shading, keep speaking. Art pieces need a frame. I've played out of the grade that I did it. I left my mark. Yes, I'm guilty. Is it a crime to be good? Yes, I am. I am. Yes, I have committed a crime. Is that a crime? And I'm like, oh, okay. From like the art piece to frame to like guilty to crime, that kind of like metaphor. I don't know, like stuff like that made it really, really fun. And I went to the credits, and we had our main guy Zico
Oh,
as the second.
icon.
Really?
writer. Yeah,
Really? Okay. That makes a lot of
That's
sense. Now.
cool.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah. We also had Diplo in as the one of the songwriters and the main
Holy
arranger.
shit! Wow, that makes sense too.
Yeah. Beat is fucking fire. It's this industrial
I like the beat.
Afro beats. Like Doug mentioned, very, very bombastic.
Dude, the music video
Yeah.
too is amazing. It's amazing.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about the music video?
Shout out. Yeah.
This shit
Choreo.
is just, it's like
Choreo,
dancing in a
yeah.
warehouse, right? It's kind of simple actually, right? I know there's a space scene, but whatever. Throw the space motif out. We didn't need it. So even from the start, when they make like the circles and they do that in-out thing, right? You just knew, oh shit, this is gonna be crazy. And then, you know how we sometimes say, well, the music video and the choreography didn't really match the song. No, this matches it
Oh, it matched.
perfectly,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Exactly
yes.
what they're trying to do. When you, at the end of the day, when you watch this music video, you go like, I want to be like Jennie too. God damn, right? Like that's what you're getting.
My hair and nails like
It's so good. You want to wear a Hello Kitty metal bra too? Doesn't everyone?
Hell yeah.
Is that not?
That's the mood.
Wow.
Wait, I want to
is-
shout out the crew that possibly, I think they choreographed most of this.
Oh yeah.
We Done Boys. They were front and center, dancing as well. Vata, so he's so freaking tall. He was like blocking. He was like to the side of Jennie, but he's so tall that it was like in the frame, and I was like, oh wow. It was just very interesting. I thought it was really cool that we got to see him because he's
Is
usually
Vata the guy who was accused of stealing the 80s choreo? Is that him?
Yeah, I think yes. So that's
With the
where
cane,
things
right?
happen.
With the cane? Yeah, okay, I remember that.
I don't know what the outcome was of that. I don't know if there was a conclusion to that.
I think people just stopped being angry after a certain point.
Right. I don't know. I don't know what came off that, but I know of We Them Boys. They were on Street Man Fighter. They've been doing a lot of choreography. They've been quite popular as the go-to choreographers for a while. It's really cool to see them perform with Jennie. I don't think they've ever done that before, if I recall. So I don't know. It was cool. I like to see them I really like it when you get either female choreographers, male choreographers do for the opposite gender, because I think you get a variety of moves, and I think it has like more of a mix to it. So I really liked how they did it in the dancers, because you had a mix, male female dancers, and the choreography also reflected that. Everybody was doing the same choreography.
Yep.
So I thought that was really cool. I liked how they worked it out.
There was that one moment in the video where like the dancers are on the floor doing a move, and I'm looking around. I was like, "Where's Jennie? Where's Jennie?" And then the camera moves, and it shows Jennie just sitting in the corner, all zen and shit. And I was like,
Right.
"Oh shit! Okay, there's Jennie." I was like, "Oh man,
There's Jennie.
there she is. Look at her go." I do want to talk about the chorus for a second, because it's always a risky move to have a whole song be written about your name. The counter example that I'm gonna start this conversation with is Lisa's La Lisa,
La Lisa love me, La Lisa love me, hey.
because I think that song, it either works for you or it does not. For me, that was a bit of a didn't really work for me. Here, I feel like it worked a lot stronger. It was a lot more bombastic. It was a lot more in your face. I do think, you know, they were obviously a lot more committed. On the other hand, if you're someone, you know, who's like, Jennie, you know, maybe if you're not a fan, this is gonna feel more like in your face, not something I like, not good. But at the same time, then, you know, the hater that she's talking about in the song, that ends up being you. I don't know. So in my head,
No, it's right. No, that's why it's like she wrote a song that's so perfectly written so that if someone doesn't like the song, it's like, well, you're a hater, just like she said.
Right.
You know, like she's entrapped these people in a catch-22 with this one. I think a little bit, right?
and like to be honest, like I to a degree, like if you think about how much the Korean media is obsessed with this girl and has been for the past decade, I think it's a bit of a fair concept to kind of go with. Not gonna lie, you know what I mean? Like she has
That's
been
true.
There's some truth to it. Yeah.
right. She has been the it girl for like how many
Bro.
fucking years now?
Ever since they dropped her pre-debut photos that people found, right?
Oh,
That's all anyone talked about. Like this was like 4 years before Blackpink even debuted, right? The her photos leaked or whatever, and people were like, this is the girl, right? Everyone was like, she's the next one.
right. That
It's been like that ever since.
The G Dragon music video, was she on that XX something?
Yeah.
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 I think she was.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I don't know. Personally, knowing that she is at the moment she is the biggest female solo artist in K-pop at the moment. That's a fair statement to make, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would say so.
yeah, like the only counter argument I can make on that is like IU, but like that's like a whole different playing field, I think.
Yeah.
So it feels wrong to compare those two things. But like, given that Jennie is who she is in this industry, they played into that perfectly. Yes, it's completely bombastic, and you know all the braggadocio is there. But like here, I feel like it's a lot more. I feel like it's a lot more tasteful than when they do it over in a Blackpink track. You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, I kind of see it.
You know what I think also? Normally, also, I found the pre-debut photo. I looked up the articles talking about this photo. The articles came out 2012. Blackpink didn't debut till 2016.
Good lord.
By the way.
It was 4 years.
And I remember this photo coming out. I had, like, you could look up Jennie pre-debut photo. There's one of her in pink just kind of side-eyeing. I remember that photo coming out, and people were talking about this 4 years before the debut. People were like, we heard she's the chosen one, which is absolutely insane. But getting back to it, I think why this works so well is this one feels more like a show than a tell. So let me explain what that means, right?
Yeah.
When you watch this music video and you see Jennie keeping up with these, like, you know, professional dancer tier level dancers with the choreo, right? And you know how sometimes the background dancers are kind of there to enhance the talent. You know, they're like, you know, make them look good, right? In this one, it feels like she on that level, at least on this song, right? And it just, to me, it just felt like such a flex. And it just felt like, wow, she's just showing me why she's so good versus, you know, saying like, I'm a badass. I'm so cool. I'm Jennie, right? Like, I'm awesome. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Man, this is good though. Wow. She's like, sometimes you just forget, you know how she gets criticized so much? Sometimes you just forget how good she actually is, right? Like, this is an S tier talent, S tier plus talent, right?
I think now that the whole album's out and now we have a full grasp on what this comeback cycle is supposed to look for this girl, I don't know. I don't think we knew. I don't think we forgot. I think we just didn't know how much potential and talent is just laying. Yeah. A lot of it was apparently left in the basement. No. Yeah.
At the YG basement, she took the shackles off of the YG basement and she's been able to blossom all over the place. If you think about this, right? When let's say we were saying, oh, Jennie's gonna release the first, now she's at her own company, she's gonna release a solo album. It's like the first thing after solo, right? And we're like, she's gonna release like 5 or 6 music videos, guys. We would probably say like, oh God, right? You know, that would have been like, they would have been like, how are all of these supposed to be half decent? They all were, you know? I'm so impressed with the her team and this entire comeback season for her. It's been amazing, honestly. I'm super impressed. Now, I know that some of the critics didn't think this was the best album ever, but I thought on a song-by-song basis and what she gave us versus expectations, I thought she hit it out of the park here, honestly.
I can't, obviously I don't speak for everybody, but I thought her album was easily the most strongest of all the projects that the Blackpink solo members dropped as solo music. Lisa's was fine. I didn't really vibe with the Rose one. This one, the whole, okay, if I look at this album as a project, like Ruby, there are some weaker moments, like for me, like near the end of the album, but the moments that are strong, very strong, and I think she knew what her strengths were, and she was focused on showcasing what those are, and I think that really worked out really well. Yeah. Great comeback cycle.
Hats off, respect. Honestly.
I don't have a hat, but yes.
Oh yeah, I'm bald, by the way, if you guys didn't know. I'm following Wonu from 17. I am also entering the military, guys. Not sarcastic at all, but I'm going as well. I'm following Oppa into the military. Yes. No, this was great. All right, let's pivot. We got J-Hope, Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel. He's from Big Hit. Last 2 songs, Neuron, On the Street, and Arson. And he's also featuring on I Live Alone right now, the Korean variety show. This past week, he had a dinner date with Benny Blanco at his house.
Wow.
That's what he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Benny Blanco, okay.
Selena was not there, but they were there. They were having a nice dinner together. Kind of impressive.
Wow.
Is that kind of wild?
That is
he's
kind
at
of
that
wild,
point
yeah.
now?
Flex. Yeah.
What did we think of Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel?
Somebody go.
I'll say this. I think we start off the song with the vocals, and to me, that was like the biggest impression. Miguel comes in.
That's Miguel. That's not Hobie.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know Miguel. I think the how should I say it? I think his vocals made that dreamy atmosphere very apparent, and I think it set the tone for the song from the beginning. And of course, it's repeated throughout the song. It's kind of like that's the hook, the chorus section that we hear throughout. And then we get J-Hope with the rap sections in between. I think it was, how should I say it? I categorize this more as like a pop rap. Like it's meant to be very like digestible, not super complex. We're not doing anything.
Anita, you're tiptoeing around the eggshells, girl. Let's be honest here.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Should I not tiptoe? Do you want me to just burst in like the Kool-Aid man?
If you don't do it, I'll do it.
Wait, well, what do you mean? What do you mean?
The song.
Say it like it is, Doug. What do
This
you
song
mean?
essentially Miguel featuring J-Hope instead of J-Hope featuring Miguel. Am I wrong?
That's what you felt.
Like,
No.
I didn't think that far. I just thought that because, like I said, because this felt more like it was trying to be more pop than rap, J-Hope couldn't really be like super. How should I say it? Like it wasn't super.
No, I think
apparent.
pop rap can be good.
All right.
I'll put it this way: when you listen to the song, right? Okay, let me preface this also. I like J-Hope, my boy, but would you?
Yes.
I just had to throw that out there. When you listen to the song, at the end of the song, when you go, what parts do I remember? It's the Miguel singing parts. Am I wrong? Like, I don't think that's
is
me
the
being
hook.
objective
That's the
here,
hook.
right? That's what I remember from this track. And when it's J-Hope featuring Miguel, like I get, you might say, well, it's the chorus part. Of course, that's gonna be what you remember. But like, no, that's really the part I remember though. Like, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead agree with that 100%, if not more. I also think the highlight of the track was Miguel's vocals. God man, great vocals. I think it was a good mix with the beat, which in question was it was just all right. It wasn't anything particularly interesting. Like, yes, it's easy listening pop music. Easy listening pop music can be interesting and complex. It's just, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't say. I've been seeing people use easy listening pop music as an excuse for underdeveloped
crutch?
songs. Yeah,
As a crutch,
as an excuse. Don't use that as an excuse for like underdeveloped music. This is underdeveloped pop music. I'm sorry. This is like the beat's just fine. It's whatever. J-Hope in question. I can't quite say that I really enjoyed his rap verse. I think it was a little what's the word? I don't know. Just didn't flow well. Very repetitive at some points for God knows what reason. I don't know. Wasn't a huge fan. I'm not gonna lie. But Miguel though.
Miguel.
Daddy. Oh my God.
You remember him?
Yeah.
let's
I
put it
guess
this way.
also-
What was I? I know something's good when I have to Google it. You know, like I'm not
Oh,
familiar with.
you
this
want
band.
more
When I'm watching
information?
TV or I'm listening to a song or some aspect of something that I'm not too familiar, and I pause for a second and I have to Google what I was like. Who is this man? Or who? Like I'm watching TV, someone says something really funny. I'm like, who is this person? I need to know more about them. That's when I know they have some kind of lasting impact, right? And for me, I was googling who this Miguel man is. Where have you been all my life? You know?
It's kind of funny because like
Nice.
maybe
Good.
like 10 or so years ago, it was like, I don't know, maybe this is me making stuff up in my head. It was him, The Weeknd, and Frank Ocean being like the trifecta of like new R&B music. I don't think his career has panned out the way Frank Ocean or The Weeknd has. And in all honesty, I have not listened to his music in the past, like, actually, yeah, I have not listened to anything from him in the past decade. So it's cool to see him again.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
It has. So I don't know. Seeing him here delivering some very sweet vocals, my guy. Great stuff.
I'll put it this way. I don't think the song is like terrible by any means.
No, I don't either.
But it's just like I don't even think J-Hope's too bad on it. I just wish like I got more from him. Do you know what I mean?
I concur with Warren's statement of underdeveloped because I also when I watched the music video, listened to the song. The song itself is not necessarily like, super short. It's maybe about 3 minutes, which is actually quite long nowadays. But it felt short. Like it felt like we weren't quite done yet. So yeah, I guess like maybe that might be it too, where it could have just done a bit more in that sense.
It had a bit of an abrupt ending, which is the consequence of some of these shorter track, run times. But I don't know. look, I've heard Hope in the Box. We've heard this man rap in various forms and formats. Sorry, Jack in the Box, not Hope in the Box. I've heard Jack in the Box. I've heard Hope on the Streets. He has rapped in several different varieties. So I think he has a good range, and I think he knows what he wants to do. I just think he made a couple creative mistakes with this one, is how I'll say it.
Especially as like the comeback of comebacks after the military, right? Like we're expecting actually, yeah. I mean, he did appear on that like LV bag thing with Pharrell and other people, but like this is like the J-Hope comeback, right? After the military. And I'm like, I wish we could have cooked up something a little more here, you know?
I mean,
exciting that he's back.
In all honesty, because we've gotten stuff in the past year, 2 years, like we had the collab with J. Cole, we had Hope on the Street. You know, it doesn't feel like he's been gone for too long. Maybe, I don't know, but I say that because I'm not like an army. But
well, it's because of the way BTS planned the military era, right? Because they had stuff pre-planned and things like that.
Right. This just feels like a bit of a continuation off of Hope on the Street. You know what I mean? Obviously, the sound direction is very different. That one leaned a lot more old school. But you know,
but you're saying it didn't feel like such a grand event, right?
Yeah, no, I guess to what you're saying, I agree is what I'm trying to say. Music video was really cool, like the house.
Oh, it's pretty. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah,
I like this fit too, like the one with the tie and the cardigan. It's like one of those Pinterest outfits I keep seeing. Good lord.
It gave a little bit of like that weirdness of Edward Scissorhands, This Neighborhood as well. I thought. I got a little Burton-y at times, you know, a little sci-fi-y. I don't know why. It's just, you know, because This Neighborhood's just too perfect. It's Uncanny Valley perfect, right? So that's what it was giving me a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think the song's too bad, but I just wish we had more J-Hope on the J-Hope track, which is a little unfortunate, I thought. Should I pivot?
Go for it.
We got Yeji solo debut with Air. She's from JYP. So you remember last week I talked about how I remember all the details of when Michael Jackson died, right? You remember that? People backed me up, Warren. They said, I thought that was a huge event too. I remember what I was doing. I saw that.
Yeah, no, I saw the comments, yes.
What I will say is, I remember when ITZY debuted. I went candlestick bowling that day. And it was I was in Boston visiting my sister. And I remember watching this music video. It had just snowed on the way home from candlestick bowling. I watched this ITZY for the first time with Dala Dala.
Wow.
Was Dala Dala while we were doing the podcast? It was, right?
Yes, it was in 2019. It was in the...
Oh, yeah.
2019.
Yes.
Yeah. Good times.
It was.
Yeah.
Let me start off with a hot take. While it seems that JYP as a company is completely capable of consistently giving ITZY members good content.
Shit, okay. Elaborate, please.
I thought this was a really solid solo debut for Yeji.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Do we agree with my preface or no?
Maybe.
I agree with that. Oh.
I thought it did okay, so I think of Yeji and I think of talent set. I think she's a great performer, right? That's the first thing I think of,
yeah.
Right? And I think that this song, while it might not have the best beat ever or whatever is going on here, I thought it did a great job of showing us, wow, Yeji's got a solo thing. That's fun.
Okay, I would agree with that.
Okay, also elaborate.
Me?
Yes.
I'll elaborate. Okay. I think what I was most concerned about the solo debut, right, was that it would try to do too much and not have a very concentrated, consistent concept, right? I was actually pleasantly surprised with the music video, with the direction that the song took, because it felt consistent. So it had very much like the editorial cool vibe, which I much prefer it than the corporate what is it? Corporate
Office
dystopia
core
thing. Office core thing.
Office core.
I like this. I think this is a good way of showing like a cool vibe
Oh my
without
God.
being too like stale. I liked it. I think it was there were like fun moments too, that not quite comedic, but it was like takes you out a little bit and then it goes back into the cool. I like that. The way the song builds to the chorus was also really nice. I don't have the facts, I don't have the stats to prove this, but to me, the way that it was structured felt very like classic pop. Like I felt very like I knew where this was going, and I was satisfied when we got there. You know, like it felt like, oh yes, this and this, and then we are at the chorus. Really liked the air repetition. I thought that also added to that hook, that memorable bit that you kind of need to be classic pop. I don't know. I liked how they did it. I like how they sold this package. It was good.
Contrary to my trolling earlier, I like the song.
Oh, good. Thank God.
Let's talk about the chorus. Because this is a textbook example of a really good anti-drop. Like, it builds up, and then it drops back into just the fucking bass. Taking my air. And then, you know, and it's got a very catchy chorus, works really well. The bass in the background hits very solid. Overall track, like you said, Anita, I also think it hits that classic pop formula really well. This I think is this and the Seulgi track I think is a good homage to mid 2000s, early mid 2000s pop music, dance pop music. This one in particular felt a little more trendy, as in like.
Yes, it felt more trendy,
right?
For sure.
I was
more modern.
I was hearing influences of Dua. I was hearing influences of Lady Gaga, and then like Brat as well. I think all of it really came together into this nice little dance pop electro disco, that sort of thing. I don't know. A lot. I wasn't really sold. I'm not gonna lie. Until we got to the chorus. We got to the chorus, and then it got this. I don't know, that bass was really solid. Her vocals are really solid. Like, we know Yeji's talented. We know she's a great dancer. But, like, I don't think her capabilities as a vocalist has been incredibly showcased yet. And I think, again, maybe a little bit of it was in the basement. And then, she decided to go back into the basement, get some of that talent, back out with her. And now we have just her for 30-something minutes. And it really works really well. I don't know. I don't know. I think there was a missed opportunity to showcase a business suit, a nice pair of blazers and slacks.
She was in an office. She was in an office at one point, walking on a copy. Actually, it wasn't an office. It was like a dishwashing scene or something, right?
Yeah.
There was a guy to the left of her. She was on a catwalk. It kind of looked like either a restaurant bag. It was one of those liminal spaces kinds of scenes, right? Which she was in.
I just wish there was a suit scene. You know what I mean? Like I'm filing out paperwork and tax return kind of a scene.
Okay, I think they also similar. This is not a stray bullet. This is not a stray. I'm not throwing this person astray, guys. You know
What are you about to say?
No, you know how Dayan, that's where the stray's going. You know how Dayan, right?
Man, we're shitting on all the voices today, okay?
I'm not shitting on them. Dayan has a great lead vocalist voice in the songs, right? She sings, and then we got Gio come with the high note later, right? Typically in the Twice songs.
Yeah.
Similar. And in Nayeon solo songs, they do a really good job of saying like she's not gonna sing a Wendy high note, but we don't need it, right? In our tracks here, they'll produce a really good song. I think they do a great job with Yeji as well in a similar vein, where we don't need like a extreme high note or something, or we don't need like the best bridge of all time in this track, and it still works out pretty well. That's a compliment.
That's kind of what you want. You build something that's complementary to their talents, and you make a nice suit and tie slacks that fit the person really well. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. as it should be. I think that's always the goal. Hopefully.
It just doesn't happen with every artist you cover, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's very pleasant when we see something like this.
This is good choreo too. There were some interesting movements going on.
I like that they did
this thing.
a performance focus too.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to the live stages.
Oh.
Yes.
The
I
first
think
time
we
they
hit
have
all
the
the
chorus,
strings.
it's the car scene. And, you know, some of the shots
Yeah.
are a little, like, not as direct because, you know, they film from the mirror at one point. But when she
That was
does the
cool.
chorus, the second time after she walks out of the destroyed building with the backup dancers, and you can fully get to see the entirety of the choreography, I thought that was a really smart choice there. And I think it works extremely well for them. Because I think it's like, damn, this girl's good, is what I got. I've been waiting for this type of solo thing. I mean, I'm not gonna end this part. We're not gonna pivot yet, but this got me thinking: what is the Ryujin thing gonna happen too? Right? That's bound to happen at some point.
Wait, is that confirmed?
No, I'm not saying it's confirmed, but I would assume it's gonna happen at some point.
It's possible,
okay.
yeah.
This is one of the things on your wish list. It's also on my wish list. Don't get me wrong.
That's on my wish list, and I also want to see. You remember after Yuna did the Yugo girl thing, and this proved everyone about hit pads and that whole thing. I wonder if they're gonna give her a solo thing too. I'd be very curious to see if they do as well.
Eventually, I would like to see
That'd be cool.
anything. You know what I would like to see? Itzy
Itzy would
venture away.
consistently good music.
Yeah, like Itzy venturing away from like the formula that they have built into doing, you know, cool
I
stuff
mean,
like
to
that.
be fair, the song, the Imaginary Friend entered the Hall of Spice last year, right?
But like that's not a title track.
No, that was like a one-off. Like, damn, they picked a good one here, right? That's what it felt like.
Okay, actually, I lied. That is a title track. However, it's not something that's gonna put them back into the. I don't know. I just feel like this has Yeji already with this track has a lot of potential outside of what she's been doing with Itzy. Like, I don't know. I'm almost getting like early day Chungha from this, both in the sound and the impact this has. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know. I have to admit, this has been the most exciting Itzy output since Not Shy.
Oh,
Let me look.
That was 2020 August.
Mafia, Locos. I thought Sneakers was fun. Cheshire, Cake, Untouchable. Yeah, you're right. If not, maybe Sneakers was fun. But yeah, you're pretty right here.
Yeah, like Imaginary Friend was good. What was the other one?
Gold, Untouchable, Cake, Cheshire, Sneakers, Loco, Mafia in the Morning. That's been since Not Shy.
Like there has been a lot of good stuff like between, you know, all these songs. I think this one is the one that really gets me excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeji's really good too. It was fun.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next person. She kissed our brother last comeback. I think she should have elevated the stakes and said like I kissed your father. I think she should have said it like
No.
she should kiss a different family member every time.
No.
You know?
I have kissed
It would've
your
been
uncle's
fun.
cousin. How does that
Yeah,
make you
but
feel?
we got Seulgi with Baby Not Baby. She's from SM. The only other solo track is that 28 Reasons track from a couple years back. I have like thoughts.
Yeah.
Of course I have thoughts.
Elaborate on those thoughts.
Elaborate. Drop more.
This song is one of those songs that we've had lately, a lot of them that rely heavily on a bass line, right? And I've been wondering, is this like a played out fad? Like, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of these songs that lead with bass lines these days, right? This is one of those tracks, I think, where the bass line's important. But
Okay.
I was wondering, do I subtract points today? Like, if a song is so meta, like should I subtract points because the song's super meta in terms of like what they decided to do, or do I judge the songs like as if I've never heard other songs use a bass line in the past 3 months? Do you know what I mean? Like,
No.
No,
I think.
I'm a
Well,
little
okay.
confused.
I think you should make a judgment in context. Sometimes, you know, like I don't think you can take them from the timeline.
Yeah. I also think
They are
yeah,
in this space.
you can't ignore the timeline. But I also think like the way basses used in this track is not similar to, for example, Dash by NMIXX. You know?
No, it's different.
I'll know.
I think it's different.
I think you need to make that call yourself, Doug. I can't do your homework for you. Otherwise, the teacher will be very angry.
Well, okay, I had a different reason why I was questioning my reaction.
Oh,
to
you
the
were
song.
also questioning this. Okay.
Oh, I'm not
Yes.
questioning it though. I still think it's really good.
Oh no, you were
By the way.
questioning.
Oh, okay.
You can't just-
Then I'm alone in this.
questioning, but I think it's really good. Yeah.
I think it took me a couple listens because I think there's certain choices that were done that I feel like I can kind of understand why, but I don't know if I like it. So
Okay,
this
what choice? Which
this-
choice?
so the song overall has this very like late 2000s, early 2010s vibe to it, and I think the pre-chorus does a really good job of setting that sound.
Okay.
And when we get to the chorus, we hit like this, the line, right? Baby, not baby. And then in between lines, there's like this sing talk thing that happens. Where Seulgi is just saying like these phrases. I think they're usually in English. And it's not singing. It sounds more like an aside to the singing.
Da 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 da.
Yes, and it happens in some verses as well, I want to say, where like she sings and then she ends it in a very talking tone. I don't know. I think it took me out a little bit. I think it maybe happened a little too much. But I can see where it might be trying to emulate that late 2000s, early 2010s sound as well, because I guess I could kind of see it in that genre, in that era.
I'm going to maybe give you a different perspective, which I don't know if it's going to help because I got to the same conclusion. I thought it's more of an homage towards early 2000s pop music, particularly the stuff that Britney Spears worked on. Post her shift was, and to the point where I felt like this was a homage to songs like "Gimme, Gimme, Gimme." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I felt, I don't know. Don't get me wrong. The talk rap took me out of it. Generally, I'm not a fan of K-pop musicians doing that, or Britney Spears doing that for that matter. My concern was whether this is the right fit for Seulgi. Like,
I agree with that too.
Like going back to the Yeji argument, like I felt like it was a great fitting suit. This one, I don't know. Maybe the tie was too big and the slacks was just too skinny. I don't know, man. Like, I think there's two sides to this. Because let's get one thing clear. Seulgi is an amazing performer. She's a great vocalist.
Yes. Yes.
I don't think you know what I mean. That's a fact of the matter. But like, if you look at it on the flip side, I'm not really enjoying her vocals on this track. I'm not gonna lie. And if I go back,
the chorus doesn't have much dynamics, right, in terms of singing.
Right.
it's a little draggy. Yeah,
I want to talk about that because
a little muted.
so the song itself is like in a very consistent mid-tone, right? And Seulgi has the range. We know this from Red Velvet content, but this felt like it was very much in her mid-tone. And then at the end, they did something very interesting where she just starts doing high notes and riffs as background vocals. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it felt a little odd, but it was also refreshing because to me it felt like, oh yes, she can do this. I know she can do this. Why didn't she do it as like in the song itself? Because this felt very like in the background, not meant to be the main thing you listen to. But it was, I don't know, it was something very interesting, and it did cross my mind of like, I know Seulgi has the range, but this song didn't really explore that.
I don't think a song needs to explore all the nooks and crannies of what the artist is good at. But on the flip side, I don't think this is particularly her strongest suite of sounds, if you know what I mean. And that goes the other way too. Like sound wise, it goes that way. Concept wise, I don't think it was that convincing for me either. And maybe it's because I've seen this girl for the past 10 years through various different Red Velvet comebacks, and now her like own personal YouTube channel. You know, people have called her a teddy bear. She seems like a very wholesome person in real life. So in order to pull off this villainy baby, not baby, look at mommy kind of a comeback, you've got to do some convincing here. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be persuasive that this is not normal Seulgi. This is a villain. Now, there are artists who do that very well. Like, for example, to pull out an example, Hyuna, who is very wholesome in variety shows.
Yeah, she's almost like a little kid on variety shows.
Right. We're all aware of her personality, but on stage, that flips 180, and she is not any of that. In order to do that on stage, I feel like you gotta, I don't know, it may be, I think it's a mix of things, you know, the way, how extreme the concepting was, the sound, her delivery, what she's capable of pulling off, the fact that her personal YouTube is still ongoing, in a very different tone. I don't know. I think a lot of things play into the fact that it's not particularly persuasive, but overall, I just can't erase the impression that both sound-wise and concept-wise, this feels like something that doesn't really fit her. It doesn't really feel like it shows her strongest suit or hides her weakest suits either. You know what I mean? Like, and we have had a lot of great moments with Seulgi in the past 10 years of Red Velvet music. Like, if I go back to Red Flavor or like Peekaboo, I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of great moments with what Seulgi has done, and this feels like just not a great series of choices. Personally,
you know what part I really liked? I really liked the pre-chorus, the "I'm dangerous" part where they add
part is nice.
Those high things, dun, 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 those parts.
I like that part.
That part's amazing. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna age. I gotta age myself here, guys. I gotta age myself.
Okay, go ahead.
okay.
If you guys know the song, it's from 2009. It's called "Dancing in the Moonlight" by Top Loader.
I know that song.
It starts with very similar sound effects. Like, the sound effects are very similar.
I like that.
I love those sound effects, and then those are present at that part of the Seulgi song. And I thought, oh, this is like a throwback to like that time, you know?
It's a very, I think to
dreamlike,
me, that
very dreamlike sounding,
yes,
right?
very dreamy, very sweet. I think to me that section felt like, oh, this is reminiscent of that late 2000s sound. It kind of also felt like it went more with her vocal tone, maybe. I don't know. I just felt like that part was the most convincing part for me in the whole song. And then when we get to the chorus is when
I'm your baby, not baby part. I was just like, could have done something a little cooler here, guys. You know. I think this is a hard song to gauge, honestly.
I was kind of confused. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I was looking at "Dancing in the Moonlight." I was like, "This sounds like nothing like what you described."
No, I meant the
yeah,
that part.
The reason I found the version called "Dancing in the Moonlight" by King Harvest from 1973. Not what you're referring to.
I think that's the original version of that song.
Right, you're talking about.
I'm talking about Top Loader, and you know what I mean then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
those sound effects.
For a minute, I thought I was losing my mind, but yes, now I know what you mean. That's what I'm trying to say. I got sidetracked. Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough because like
I like Seulgi.
Of course we love Seulgi.
It
just feels like for what we got, I thought this was pretty good, honestly. I thought the package is pretty good.
Terrible. It's not. It's not.
I don't think it's bad. Like, I liked it.
No.
But I could see if we take in the context that this is Seulgi, right? We like Seulgi. And then now I think about what we got here based on the expectations, then I'd be like, we have some issues here, right? That's why I'm confused about this one, because if it wasn't Seulgi, if it's someone else, I'd be like, oh, this was fun, you know, it was nice. But when I got Seulgi like talk rapping to me for a significant portion of the song, I'm like, I don't know here, right? That's how I end up with this song in my head.
No,
it's a hard song to evaluate, I think.
I don't know. I'm trying to look at it without the lens that this is a Seulgi track and just with the context that this is a track that we are covering this week. Like if I think about Seulgi, we've only had 2 solo tracks between this and 28. What is it called? 28 Reasons.
28 Reasons. Yeah, but I kind of like. I know it's not her solo track, but you kind of tie in the stuff she did with Irene too. I think
sure.
in my head.
And like you do that, and you realize that SM is trying to build this evil villain arc for Seulgi, and I'm like, why? Like,
Right.
why?
Very dark.
Like I don't know. It just for how
Yeah, like when she says, "I'm so effing sorry," I'm like, okay, Seulgi, no, you're like, relax, relax here.
Yeah, no, that was a terrible line for me because I was like, that just took me out. I was like, that just sounds like a little kid trying to be hard. You know what I mean? Like, not Seulgi's older than me. Like, I feel that feels weird saying that, but like,
She could have just said, "I'm not even sorry," too. She could have just said that, and it would have been better, I think.
yeah, I don't know. It really feels like the producers are set on building this edgy bad girl image for Seulgi, and I don't know why. Like I don't think it services her like vocal tone to begin with. I don't know. Like I've maybe it's a personal thing, but like you know how Red Velvet has like Red versus Velvet tracks. Like I feel like Seulgi does much better in the Red concept tracks. Is Red the one I'm thinking about? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like Red Summer, the Red Festival one.
Red Flavor.
Song, right. Yeah, Red Flavor. Sorry, I was looking at the Red the album numbers. Yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like ice cream cake, you know, or like Russian roulette. I don't know. Maybe this is me, you know, pushing my personal opinion a little too much here, but
my ending thing I want to say is I kind of formulated this suggestion with people in the Discord. They saying, you know how we have the SojuScore rating system now? People were saying a fun activity is if we get a bunch of one artist's tracks that have stood the test of time now, and we assign Soju scores to it as a fun like activity.
Seulgi
like
gets
we
a
lay
7
out
overall, or
no. We lay out like 15 classic Red Velvet tracks, and we give them ratings in 2025 on our current system of rating.
Like
That
what would
would be
Red Flavor get today?
Yeah, like what if I'm thinking Red Flavor? What is that rating now that it's sat for like 10 years? Is it a 10? And now that you listened to it enough, is it a 10?
Oh,
Is it a
it's
9?
up there for me.
Do you
for
think it's
sure,
ass
yeah.
actually in 2025? That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
I could see that.
I don't know how many artists could do that for. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be good, all good. You know, it could be bad too.
No. I'm saying about my familiarity with, like, for example, like all of.
Oh, like we could do Red Velvet. We could do Twice straight easily. We could do Blackpink easily. You know.
All right, coming soon to SojuTalk. Artists.
Wouldn't that be
Suggestions,
fun?
yes.
Wouldn't that be
discography
fun?
ratings.
Hey, and we could make it a Discord event. We could have people rate the songs too.
If you want to rate
make a
songs,
channel.
join the Discord. This is your millionth advertisement to do stuff.
That would actually be fun if we put it in a week. Like, here's all the Red Velvet title track music videos. Rate them all, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we got.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That sounds fun. You should do that. No, I agree.
We could do that.
That's a
Yeah.
good idea.
All right. Those are the tracks this week. Other tracks include Baekhyun, Umi, and El Captain released "Do What You Want," B2B Love Today, A-Turn Lego, One We, The Starry Night, Infinite Dangerous. That is straight up Infinite, Anita. They are still releasing tracks.
I know. I like it.
They even appeared on Kim Jong-kook's workout channel. They're like at that
Oh,
point.
they did?
Yeah, we got Jen Blue with Act Like That, Treasure Yellow, Alexa Sugarcoat, Hearts to Hearts. We got a B-side, Butterflies, NTX, Over and Over. Schumann released We, 17 Hoshi Uzi, Unit Debut released Beam, and then XG Is This Love B-side music video also dropped. There's a lot.
Wow.
We're at SojuScore. It's the segment where each week the crew, the Gochu Gang, and the SojuTalk Nation will score the new releases using the SojuScore guide. We will score songs from a 0 to 10 with an average score receiving a 5. Songs with an average score of 7.3 will enter the Hall of Spice. I need to get a graphic up. 1 second. First thing I want to address is last week we had a discussion in the post show about our 7.3 bar for the SojuScore. It seems that most people either said leave it or only drop it a tiny bit, like 7.25 or 7.2. I think our decision on that for now is we're going to keep it where it is because other people also agreed that they don't think like 2025's bangers have started to come out. I think this week was the week when the bangers started to come out, honestly.
Yeah.
Additionally, people were wondering if we are going to grandfather it, if we change the bar, if we're grandfathering. I think it's kind of only right too.
Yeah.
Honestly, so we would if we ever dropped it.
I think I read most of the messages, and I don't think anybody said don't grandfather it in. So
there's that. All right. Last week, G Dragon 2 Bad featuring Anderson .Paak got with 2 Bad got a 7.6. Lisa F Up the World got a 4.79. Anita.
Oh shit.
And then the reason we are doing this is because we have a VAR check from Soccer VAR. For Young Posse Old featuring Seulgi, it somehow got a 7.36. So it's currently in the Hall of Spice. And I contacted Anita and I asked her to please listen to Cold, and she's gonna give us a score to see if it actually is in Hall of Spice.
Oh no!
It's all on you,
buddy. I
buddy.
think it was like this.
All on you.
Is it this bad? What we ended up doing?
No, I mean. Okay, I'll give out my score, but I want to hear how you guys landed on an 8. So I'm very curious.
What is your score?
Wait.
My score, it was 6.
What the fuck?
Okay. So as it stands, the VAR check is over, and Young Posse gets a 7.02.
So
it is not in the Hall of Spice.
Damn.
Wait, but why did we end up on an 8 for you guys?
Because it was fucking good. That's why.
Banger, it has Seulgi on it.
Okay, I think to sum up my reasoning and to kind of address some of the messages people are saying on the Discord, I think music video was really great. The song,
yes, music video was cool.
Right?
Yeah.
I think the song itself has a lot of replay value. Like it is, for what it's worth, a really good cafe hip hop song. The members do a good job of rapping. Seulgi delivers on his fucking vocals. And the lyrics are really nice. And I think if I have to go back and really take myself a little bit, I do think I was overshooting a little bit because I was impressed with the way the album played into the rest of the narrative. Like, it feels very rare for a K-pop project to kind of tie in the song narrative, the album narrative, and music video narrative all together into one cohesive package without a bunch of mental gymnastics about theories and shit. This one made a lot of sense. It's short, it's tight. It's obviously not something typically Young Posse does, nor is it going to be something they typically do. But yeah, there you go. I do feel like that part of it was very good package.
As Warren was saying, I was gaslit by him, so I gave an 8 when I should have gave a 7. As I was saying, that's what we agree on, right,
blame
guys?
me for that shit. Gaslit.
You had some input, Doug.
You just said gaslit. That's how you use that fucking word.
I let Jesus take the wheel, and in this case, Jesus was Warren, and I got an 8.
Warren?
Am I Jesus?
I mean, I think it was. I'll say this. I think definitely has.
I thought it was really good. I think I overshot.
Re-listening value, really, right? And maybe I will agree on an 8 later. Like maybe, but
later doesn't make a lot of sense. It's now or never.
I think it got a lot of bonus points for me. Music video, really good. Seulgi, really good.
Video, yeah.
I'm impressed with Young Posse that they were able to do this. I think those 3 contributing factors, I inflated my score a tiny bit. That's what I would probably say.
Hey, it is what it is. Maybe it didn't make Hall of Spice, but 7.02 still a really good number.
That's a solid score, guys. Solid score. All right, let's
go
to why we're here today, right? We got
this week.
this week's song: NMIXX High Horse, Jennie Like Jennie, J-Hope Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel, Yeji Air, Seulgi Baby Not Baby. I have big scores this week. I am like Santa coming down the chimney. I have come with presents,
Damn.
right?
Okay.
Right off the bat,
Nice.
NMIXX High Horse 8.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
I think this was an exceptional NMIXX track.
Wow.
Wow.
That's an exceptional score.
Oh, I was torn with this one. See, I was between a 6 and a 7.
The 7, yeah, figured.
Wait,
What?
she said 6 or a 7, Doug. She's not done yet.
6 or a 7.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you were 6 or 7 on this.
I think I'm gonna land on the unpopular opinion on the 6.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
Damn.
The reason being that I mentioned the verses and how that repetition happened quite a bit, and I don't know. I feel like that is what I feel about the song, where I'm looking for the chorus. That it was the highlight for me. So yeah, it's still really good. I'm really excited for their title track.
Okay. I don't completely disagree with Anita's takes, but here's where I give a bonus point and make it a 7. I have a 7.
Okay, that's good.
I think if I look at NMIXX's title tracks and all those tracks that claim to do mix pop, they kind of use it as a gimmick or a way to showcase a trendy genre. Let's be honest. This one felt like one of the very few attempts to kind of use it to create a coherent package that makes sense together. Like they did attempt to put together the ballad pianos with the breakcore drums and create a contrast and do a call and response. That was all intentional. Did I enjoy the output completely? No, but like I still think it was very creative and very fun. So, top it off. The vocals are fucking top tier. I got 7.
Oh yeah, great vocals.
Yeah.
SojuTalk Nation and Gochu King voted. They gave a monster score as well, guys. By the way,
Is that an 8?
7.33.
Damn.
Okay.
Wait. Does this mean?
Oh.
As a result, NMIXX's High Horse receives 7.08.
Fuck me. No.
We needed a 7 and an 8. Oh, actually, we just needed one of you to give a higher score.
I mean, I give
Yeah,
it a 7.
either of you.
7.4.
Damn.
Dang.
NMIXX High Horse 7.08. That's impressive. Okay. Next track, Jennie Like Jennie.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm giving this a 9.
Whoa.
Okay, let's have a discussion about 10s and 9s, us on our server and in general, right?
Okay.
On our Discord server, I had originally explained that 10 should be for your like top 5 best songs of all time in your head. 9
Right.
should be your top 5 best songs of the year. And people were saying that feels really rigid, and I agree. My new thought and the opposite. So 1 should be top 5 worst songs of the year. 0 should be your top 5 worst K-pop songs of all time, right? I think I agree that that's too rigid. So the way I'm thinking about it now is you give a 10 to a song that you think would be in the discussion for the top 5 best K-pop songs of all time. Like your short list for that. And I think that 9s should be given out for candidates or songs that you think will be in the discussion for your top 5 best K-pop songs of 2024. And for me, Jennie Like Jennie is one of those tracks. So that's why I'm giving it a 9.
I think if we utilize the adjectives that we came up with, 10 is legendary. Legendary track. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like this is, for me, this is a year defining track. It would be in my discussion for top 5 tracks of the year right now. That's a 9, straight up.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's how I arrived at that.
No, that's fair.
Well, I arrived at for this one, a 7.
Damn.
Yeah, no, I think it was very, very fun. I think a big part of this song was the performance, and I like that. But it felt a tiny bit short. A tiny bit short.
We determined last week that the whole package gets voted is scored. That's what Warren and I discussed last week. Like we were saying, this young posse's getting a boost because of the music video. Just saying. Warren,
I see
what
that.
about
No,
you?
I like that. I'm always a proponent for
Dog, that's why it got a
considering
7.
the visuals. It's a 7. We're a 7.
Wait, so it's even lower if it's not for the music video? Holy
Yeah.
shit. All right, keep going. God damn.
I mean, okay, if you really want to get specific, I look at the music first and foremost. I could take into
I know you did.
consideration the choreo, the video, the style, that thing. I think like Jennie is fucking fantastic. I think it's an 8.
Damn.
Hey, don't worry then. You're good.
SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang also voted.
What
They
wrote?
gave Jennie Like Jennie 6.71.
Oh.
Ooh.
I don't feel that bad anymore.
As a result, Jennie Like Jennie. Oh, 7.
Hey.
8. Entering the Hall of Spice. It's our first legit Hall of Spice of the year. Let's get it.
There we go.
Finally,
There it
Jennie.
is.
It's finally happened. Hall of Spice class of 2025. First entry, Jennie Like Jennie. 7.68. Boom.
There you go.
Next we got J-Hope with Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel. For me, I was between a 5 and a 6 on this one. I think it's better than average though. I gave this one a 6. I think it's a good song, but it's just not enough J-Hope, honestly.
I give this one a 5.
Okay, that's fair. Completely.
Yeah.
For a lot of the same reasons, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Wish
yeah,
there
there's
was
not
more.
really a lot to elaborate on this one. For first time today, I agree with Anita. I also have a 5.
And the SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang also voted. They gave J-Hope Sweet Dreams 6.19.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And as a
we're around the
result,
same
it receives a
ballpark.
5.55, which, you know,
5.55.
honestly, I think that's kind of fair. Next, we got Yeji with Air, her solo debut. I'm giving another big score here, guys. From Yeji, I give it an 8. I thought it was really good.
Damn.
Ooh.
This is a banger week for you.
I thought it was a great week. I was enjoying a lot of
Great
this.
week.
I had a great week.
Bam.
This one got a 7 for me. I was having
Okay.
fun with it.
I also had a lot of fun with that. I will admit, I my score behind my score, I think the chorus is what really carried the score. Not gonna lie, the verses are fine. Whatever. Chorus, damn, shit, good. 7.
7. And the SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang also voted. They gave Yeji with Air 6.97. And as a result, it receives 7.24.
We were
Oh,
this close.
man.
Damn.
This close.
Damn. That's a big. We got 3 7 songs this week, dude. 3 would recommend. Finally,
We're
got
doing
Seulgi
good, yeah.
with Baby Not Baby. For me, I enjoyed this track. I don't think it's the best use of Seulgi. I gave this one a 7.
This one, I was also torn between. This was between a 5 and a 6 for me, because there were that talk rapping part and just some choices I was not convinced with, but there were parts that I thought were cool, so I'm gonna give it a 6.
Nah, I thought it was pretty all right. I don't know.
Alright.
I like Seulgi as an artist. I really like some of the stuff she does. I can't say this fits the basket of stuff I've
Or
liked. I got
was this
5.
underwhelming?
Or
5 average.
5.
And the SojuTalk Nation and Gochu Gang also voted. They gave it a 6.13. And as a result,
All right.
Seulgi's Baby Not Baby gets a 6.03. We had a good scoring week, guys. NMIXX High Horse, 7.08. Jennie Like Jennie entered the Hall of Spice naturally with a 7.68, which I believe might be the second highest score all time on this. It is.
Wow.
It is the second highest score to XG's Howling.
Wow. Okay.
Next, we had J-Hope Sweet Dreams featuring Miguel with a 5.55. Yeji Air just missing the mark with a 7.24.
Dang it.
And we have Seulgi with Baby Not Baby with a 6.03. Let's do some work here with Yeji. If someone had given it an 8, it makes it. It makes it. Damn. Finally, we're at show winners. Anita, hit us with them.
Yes, starting out with Zero Base 1.
Oh, wait,
they won
my
the show.
Anita, my show winners might be wrong.
Is it wrong? Isn't that accurate?
We're gonna take a quick technical issue break.
No,
We're back.
no. I already figured it out. I figured it out. It's like this. We're good. Keep
Okay,
going, Anita.
not too bad. Zero Base 1 still won. They won on the show champion and Music Bank with Blue. So 3 total wins for them. And then we have G-Dragon with Too Bad. He won on Emp Countdown, Show Music Core, and Inkigayo. So 3 wins as well.
I have it in the wrong order though. Normally I put the more senior artist above, just out of respect.
Oops.
That's how I normally do it.
Oh, there you go.
But that ends part 1, episode 319. We'll be back after a short break to talk about this New Jeans stuff. Jesus Christ. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
Before we do get to that New Jeans news, we just wanted to not really talk about. We want to acknowledge the fact that singer Wisung was passed away in his home. If you don't know who he is, he was a R&B singer who was primarily really popular and successful in like the early 2000s to 2010s era.
Yeah.
Extremely influential, right, Warren?
I think it's probably fair to say that he pioneered R&B music in Korea. A very if you want to have your deans, crushes, that sort of thing. This guy's had to exist first.
He had a monster run from like 2009 to like 2009 to like 2015. He had a monster run going too.
Oh yeah, like even before that too. Like he has kind of formulated the whole ballad R&B music in Korea as a thing. His mental issues have been somewhat public already. Like we've known he was struggling with certain things. Obviously, we don't know the
with
exact...
mental issues, and he also publicly was struggling with some drug issues as well, which was really reported on near like 2020. It's unfortunate though. For me, he was one of like the gateway people outside of like once you got into K-pop and I started branching a little bit. This was one of the main guys for me. Back then, for sure. Really unfortunate. May he rest in peace. And our condolences to his family and his friends. All right, let's go to the meat of this. Guys, I have lost intelligence trying to figure out this
Oh no.
This thing that happened, this injunction hearing for New Jeans NJZ versus Adore. I think I have a room temperature IQ now. It's been a mess trying to decipher this.
Okay.
Warren often tells me that the West and the translations are shit, but I didn't really encounter that until this. But I'll explain that.
You know how bad it was?
I don't know how bad it was.
Welcome to my
First
world,
thing,
dog.
It was reported on March 6th. All 5 New Jeans members will personally attend the first court hearing of Adore's injunction today. So it happened, guys. The real crux of this case, right? The real crux of this case right here is the Seoul Central District Court's Civil Division held a hearing on Ador's injunction request against New Jeans regarding the preservation of agency status, so the legitimacy of their contract, and the prohibition of independent advertising contract. So, and New Jeans' ability to sign advertising contracts by themselves without Ador. That is what this case is about.
Okay.
This case is about, does Ador still hold the rights to New Jeans' contract that they signed with them? And does New Jeans have to sign advertising contracts through Ador, or are they free from Ador and can do whatever they want?
Okay. So managerial rights and advertisement signing rights.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what this case is about.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go through some of the notable things and then we'll go through a summary of everything. All right. Let's do that. The first thing. So the first thing I'm going to go over is like the two sides, what each side is saying, right? This is from New Jeans' side. This is what New Jeans is saying. Quote, HYBE's large-scale media play, eyelid plagiarism controversy, restructuring of New Betty, which is a, New Betty it's translated weirdly here, but it's essentially a term that HYBE was using internally to talk about like New Jeans, eyelid, and Le Sserafim, right? And they're saying that they were trying to take the new part out. That's something. We'll talk about that later as well. And the destruction of the cooperation with the Dolphin, it's not Dolphin kidnapping, but the Dolphin Group are all things that happened between 2023 and 2024. Except for New Jeans, none of the artists belonging to HYBE have experienced this. Also, HYBE continued to act unfairly, but Ador does not have the ability to prevent it and take follow-up action. If the same thing had happened at another agency, New Jeans would not have been left like this.
That was their argument.
Okay.
That's their argument.
So for a little bit of context, which I'm sure you'll get into later, Newberry in Korean is New Aru. I don't know how it ended up being Newberry. New Aru is New Jeans, eyelid, Le Sserafim. New Aru. It could have been New Jeans, Ive, and Le Sserafim. Ibu, illit. So you kind of make that connection there. So like in Korean, they called it New Aru. Maybe that's kind of funky to say in English. I don't know.
So
okay.
that New Aru, the issue is, right?
Yeah.
New Jeans' side is like the clearly meant eyelid. So if by taking the New Jeans out of it, you're throwing us out of the company, right? Whereas HYBE is saying, no, the is Ive. So it doesn't just have to do with HYBE. We're just want to take New Jeans out right now because we're going through all this turmoil and all this type of stuff.
Okay.
That's the two sides of this, is essentially what it boils down to.
Okay.
They say like, we want to separate it right now because of what we're going through, whereas New Jeans like, you're literally taking us away from the other girl groups in this company. What does that say? So that's essentially what that argument is over.
Interesting. Okay. So this goes back to, for those of the listeners who have stuck around with us for a while, there have been a series of leaks that came out regarding internal documentation about market reports, what's happening in the whole industry.
Yeah.
A lot of it was talking shit about other artists. This is where that's come out of.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going. This is Ador side. So when I say Ador, you could also interput HYBE. This is HYBE / Ador side, right? None of the 8 remedies, you remember this, New Jeans had like 8 things they needed fixed in the companies, right?
Yes.
None of the 8 remedies requested by New Jeans can be grounds for termination of the exclusive contract. NJZ or New Jeans is one of Korea's leading global girl groups. The dedication of all the employees in Ador and HYBE was one of the reasons for their success. HYBE has invested a total of 21 billion won in order for New Jeans to succeed, which is unprecedented. New Jeans has been promoted since before their debut, appearing in BTS's music videos and taking on challenges with artists from other HYBE companies. However, the New Jeans' alleged reasons for the termination is simply that HYBE dislikes them.
Damn. Those strong words from Ador. But I see what they're saying.
Ador's side, so New Jeans is basically saying, like, you ignored us, you tried to do bad by us, you were trying to screw us over. Ador and HYBE are saying, look, we invested 21 billion won into you. We put you into BTS stuff, and we've supported you like we've never done to any other group, and yet you're saying we don't like you, apparently. That's the Ador / HYBE side. That's an interesting point, to be completely honest with you, right?
It's not completely wrong. Like, regardless of what like New Jeans and Minijin has said in the past, it is a fact that HYBE has supported New Jeans leading up to this, series of unfortunate events.
Yeah. So to continue that, so this is about the BTS part, right? Because people are like, what does that even mean, right? Adore claims that NewJeans was promoted as the quote next BTS at Minheejin's request. So Adore is saying, not only did we attach you to BTS, but Minheejin wanted this herself. Right? That's what they're saying. So they said NewJeans appeared in BTS's music video before their debut, and whenever they released a new song, they promoted dance challenges with other hype artists. NewJeans was introduced as, quote, BTS's little sister from the beginning and were promoted as the next BTS and, quote, surpassing BTS at Minheejin's request. This was only the case in HYBE at the time of using another group's popularity in PR.
I don't know if I recall that, but okay.
Okay. So let's to be very transparent with what they're saying here. BTS's little sister is what was used in press releases and like news articles online, anywhere between Dispatch, Star News, 중앙일보, that sort of thing. Like the little sister the little sister label has been used by people like, for example, IU, who was like the nation's little sister for like 5 years, when, after Good Day, that sort of thing. So that's where that context kind of comes out of. Right now, Kiki is being advertised as IVE's little sister. So that's kind of what this is.
And Adore isn't really too caught up on this next BTS thing. They're more or less using this as a supporting point as to, this is why we don't hate NewJeans. Look at what we did for them. That's what they're saying.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they're saying not only did we do this, they're saying not only did we do this for them, but Minheejin wanted this, so we did it. So that's at least what their side is. I get both sides of the argument they're saying, honestly. But let's keep going. So, okay. Okay, guys. Okay. The first major point that was talked about that has to do with some K-pop people is the islet, quote unquote, copying, that kind of thing, right? Islet copied NewJeans. This is one of the things they talked about during this hearing. Here are some quotes. On this day, NewJeans claimed HYBE attempted to damage the brand value of NewJeans and replace it by launching Islet, which imitated NewJeans. That's a direct quote from their lawyers, right?
Damn, okay.
We also received reports from internal HYBE employees. There are also articles saying that NewJeans and Islet's plans are excessively similar, even though their debuts are 3 years apart. While comparing the plans of both sides, the structure, template, documents, and contents are excessively similar. In fact, the NewJeans side also compared the hanbok pictorials of NewJeans and Islet. The NewJeans side stated, quote, at first glance, it's hard to tell which is NewJeans or Islet. We question whether it was necessary to copy such similar colors, concept, and even textures. It wasn't Adore who pointed this out, nor was it NewJeans' parents. In fact, it was the fans that were the first to react, saying, honestly, this is pretty bad. I was surprised that they were like, yo, the hanbok photos are identical. They're copying us. I don't know if that was the best way to do it, but that's what they said.
They went specific.
More importantly, they said the NewJeans side concluded by saying that the teaser images of NewJeans and Islet were also indistinguishable compared to their official appearance style, styling, and choreography. In particular, regarding the core choreography of NewJeans' debut song Attention, they stated, quote, whenever we talk about Attention, all fans think of this move, and released a video of the point choreography. So what this means is there's an Islet choreography, like a dance showcase video, and people kind of broke it down part by part. And there are a lot of parts in this Islet dance video that look like Attention. Like, objectively speaking, a lot of the parts look similar.
Okay. To layer on a little bit of context to this, plagiarism law in Korea, or anywhere for that matter, is always a legally gray area. Typically, you have to take this in order to just do plagiarism in court. You need to go to whether this, is an infringement of copyright. Concepting isn't really something you can hold a copyright to, especially in terms of exclusivity. I don't know how this holds up in court, however, because they are using this as a support for saying, HYBE didn't have NewJeans' best interest in mind when you're going through these. I don't know. Personally, it does feel like there was some level of influence that led into Islet. Like, the fact that, like, for example, the slide deck was built on this, on similar.
I hear some of the
templates.
dance moves they're saying are similar, like that, that move. There's a lot of the moves that they say are, somewhat similar. And to be fair, they kind of are, right?
I don't know. I feel like when you take things out of context with like little bits, like a lot of things are always going to be similar. So like,
Yeah.
But
That's their point. They say one of the reasons why we think Hype dislikes us and why they were trying to screw us over is they're literally just making us again. And here are some reasons.
But like what I do think is a little telling is like their internal documentation reportedly being similar. And being influenced by each other. Like that to me.
This is the
personally
most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most important.
Yeah. When comparing the
harder
plans of both
evidence.
sides, the structure, template, documents, contents are excessively similar. Obviously, I'm not gonna.
If they could prove that, if New Jeans side can prove that, then they got something here.
Right.
I think for sure, concrete wise. So that happened. Next one. So they also name dropped La Seraphim.
Shit.
Oh.
New Jeans side said a quote. Hybe stated that New Jeans would debut as Hybe's first girl group. Former CEO Minijin also joined Hybe with this expectation. This is actually something that we heard about in the past. We were talking about.
Right.
This came up. Quote, in the meantime, Source recruited Sakura, Chaewon, Yoonjin, and debuted Le Seraphim first. There was no explanation during that time. In particular, member Haein was selected as a specific brand ambassador, but Le Seraphim was suddenly selected as the brand ambassador instead. They continued, quote, after checking with the brand, we learned that Hybe made the request first and that the brand naturally asked for New Jeans' understanding, and we even received an apology. So on a face value, if Hybe switched the brand ambassador, of course that's bad for New Jeans, right? But the argument that people are making online is like, well, isn't that just business? We go with the hot hand. I think the bigger issues that New Jeans side has with Le Seraphim is this whole thing where they said that New Jeans would be first and they weren't first.
And I think there's two sides to this, right? Like one, how much, weight legally that holds. Because per Korean law, a promise is a promise. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's not legally binding, like, there have been examples, and and this depends on context. And I am by no means a lawyer. Nita just did that's how you want to be very careful here. Because I saw this on fucking Infinite Challenge 20 years ago. There have been cases where, like, promises that people have said out loud without a full-on contract holds up in court. Right. So I think it depends on how the court interprets this promise. But I don't think this is something to completely gloss over is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but so they specifically at this thing, BTS was named obviously in the beginning. We had the Islet, which is obviously their qualms with Islet. New Jeans' qualms with Islet is the big crux of a lot of things. We're gonna go to the ignoring thing, which is like the biggest thing that happened, and then we have them reportedly copying them, and then we have right here they're talking about Le Seraphim. They're like, these other groups were favored more than us, is essentially the claim they're making. And Adora's like, no, a lot of it's just business. We like all of our groups, but it's what's best for the business at the time is what they're defending with. All right, let's keep going. So Source was not happy. They like instantly responded saying like, we did not receive any specific privileges or unfair advantages being chosen for that brand. Like, they're not happy. They are not happy about this. This was dropped like almost immediately after the hearing.
On one hand, I am glad that they are putting this statement out because this is Source Music doing what this is them fulfilling their duty of protecting Le Seraphim. So
yeah. Here's the quote I like. Bringing up an artist's real name based on unverified and inaccurate information is irresponsible and a serious act that should never be done to any artist. Such one-sided claims not only subject fellow artists to criticism, but also spread misinformation to fans and the public, creating an environment where baseless and inaccurate claims circulate. Damn.
The thing is, though, like, if okay, I'm trying to play the devil's advocate, because if I am thinking from the New Jeans perspective, there's not really a way to make this argument without mentioning them. You know what I mean? Like, so I do think they deserve some benefit of doubt. However, we've discovered how the internet be the internet the past year, and it's not very pleasant. So I don't know. This is a situation where, like, I understand why they did what they did, but like I'm also I get the flip side of it. Like, if I'm a Surfing fan, like, this is gonna drive me nuts.
All right, let's get to the big thing. Islet members ignored Hani. This was the biggest thing that happened in the court this day, right?
Okay.
Let's go through this. It's gonna take a while, but let me go through this. Among them, the most notable is the newly raised content related to the so-called ignore remark made by Islet's manager that caused New Jeans member Hani to attend the state audit. That was with the government. You remember that one? Mm-hmm. And is expected to have significant repercussions. You remember a lot of the Hani bullying allegations are tied to this thing that she was bullied and ignored by Islet and / or allegedly their manager, right? You remember that was the big thing we were talking about.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
On the day of the hearing, Warren, can you move it a little bit? The 5 New Jeans members attended the court in person wearing matching black outfits, and Adore's CEO was also in attendance. What caught attention was the CCTV footage released by Adore. Adore's side released CCTV footage from May 27, 2024 in court and distributed to the press after the trial. The footage shows 3 members of Islet bowing 90 degrees to Hani as they enter the hallway and also bowing 90 degrees to Danielle as she walks by. Adore's side stated, quote, CCTV footage does not have an audio recording function, so it is impossible to confirm the claim that the word ignore was stated. What's curious is that the CCTV footage that Adore side released in court that day is not the footage of where Hani claims she heard the Islet manager say ignore. So you're probably confused, right? Let's go through this part before I show you the CCTV footage. In the government audit in October, Hani stated, or someone, I don't know exactly who stated, but quote, after directly checking the CCTV footage, there is an 8-second CCTV of her getting greeted in the front. That is the footage that got released, right? But the scene 5 to 10 minutes later is completely gone. And that's when she apparently heard the ignore comment.
Right.
And Hani stated, quote, I checked with 2 people, a security guard and the chief of security. And when I asked why there was no footage at that time, they kept changing the reason why it wasn't there. She said they made a slip of the tongue and even stated that they deleted it.
Okay, I will admit, I to be quite completely honest, I don't follow the scandal as much as I used to half a year ago. But back when I did, this does line up with what Hani was and New Jeans was saying earlier, because they claimed they asked for the CCTV footage, and Adore said they looked into it. They for some reason don't have the footage, so that does line up with what they said previously. Yeah.
So the timeline is Hani somewhere, Islet comes down, right? Islet walk by, they greet Hani and Danielle, they go their separate ways. And then about 5 to 10 minutes later, Hani said she heard an Islet manager saying that they got it. You like, so I'm the manager, I'm talking to the Islet kids, and they go, yo, you gotta ignore Hani, we're going through this stuff right now. And then reportedly, New Jeans side is saying, then the Islet kids ignored Hani later.
Okay, so let me get this straight. There was normal bowing, and then there was ignore comment, and then after that there was no bowing.
Correct. That's what the claims are.
Okay. Okay.
Here is the CCTV footage. So you actually have to start at the end. There's Hani, right? There's Islet's manager, right? And let me play it. So Islet member 1, that's a bow, right? Islet manager Danielle. Islet member 2, that's another bow.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Right there. There's Danielle. Oh, there's a Islet member 1 bowing to Danielle, right?
Okay. The vibes are awkward.
There's
as hell,
another bow.
by the way. Yeah. Okay.
What?
The vibes
Yeah, it's
are
really
awkward,
choppy.
by the way. I mean, no.
Yeah.
There's Islet member 3 bowing. So the footage Adore, no one is arguing about this footage. They all agree there was bowing at the beginning, guys. We all agree to this, and it happened.
Okay, the part that frustrates me a little bit is Hybe has been saying that they want to protect their artists, and I totally for them. The argument has always been about Islet's manager, not Islet. Like them bowing does not tell me shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but from Hybe's perspective is that Islet's getting dunked on the members because they agreed, allegedly agreed to what the managers did. So therefore, people are finding them culpable for it.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I don't agree with that, but that's why Hybe's like, we gotta say something because people are saying our Islet kids are bullies. You know?
No.
Even though they were probably even though realistically they were let's say this did happen, they were probably just following orders. You know?
Right. No, that's totally fair.
So let's keep going.
Also, Ola was saying earlier is that the vibes in this video, like the choppiness aside, just very awkward when you're like...
Well, this video was after the shit started to go off, too.
Right. So vibes are off, you know what I mean?
So, okay, let's keep going. In other words, the CCTV footage released by Adore that day is an 8-second video of her greeting the Islet members before the problematic incident where she personally confirmed. Hani said that she greeted all the Islet members when she entered the room and that she heard the problematic ignore comment from the Islet manager when the Islet members came out of the room. But the footage that Adore released in court that day is of them greeting initially, which, that's what we're saying, right? It's of the first thing, not the second thing, right? Also, Adore released cacao messages between Hani and the former CEO Minijin that were submitted by NewJeans in court that day. So, basically, these are the text messages, right? It said Adore released the cacao messages between Hani and Adore CEO Minijin that were submitted by NewJeans in court. So NewJeans submitted these in court, and Adore's are like, yeah, this is fine. This helps our case. Let's release it in the public, right?
Okay.
So that's what seemingly is happening.
They
based on
both
this
thought it
article.
helps them.
They both thought it helps them, so NewJeans brought it to court. Adore was like, yeah, this is good for us. Let's release it to the public.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So let's talk about these text messages. Let me get rid of the CCTV. Okay. You can't really tell. Warren, I'll back up for a second. This is a screenshot of the text messages that got released, right? They're blurry as shit. It's not great. And honestly, there's breaks in the time if you look this up and look at the timestamps. But this is what NewJeans submitted. This is what Adore agreed was fine. The order you're supposed to read them is top left, top right, bottom right. That is what correlates with the timestamps of these messages, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. What I keep seeing online is people, the order they're showing them is 1, 3, 2, 4. The top and then the bottom. Or people don't even put 2 and 4 and just put 1 and 3. I did not find one Western source that had all 4 of them in the right order. I did not.
Is this why you've been translating the articles yourself?
I haven't been translating them myself. I found translations of the parts, but I have to rehash them together so they make sense. That's what I've been having to do lately.
Okay. So I saw the articles and their raw translations, and I was like, okay.
So let's go through the translations of these messages, right?
Yeah.
I have them. I got them off of Reddit. Let's see. This is number 1, right here, right? Number 1. Mm-hmm. This is number 3. This place only put 1 and 3. There's no 2 and 4. So. Yeah. And then I had to find another Reddit post. Where is it? Oh god. I had to find another Reddit post that has only 3 and 4. So you're gonna have to bear with me as I jump between them and I try to read them to you guys.
It's okay. Remember, we're a podcast. Most of our listeners don't see any of the things we're seeing on the screen.
the whole point I'm trying to make is it's such a mess because the people in the West don't get the full picture because no one bothered to translate them in the right order. So they're only getting bits and pieces, and I think it's shifting the narrative one way or the other.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying since.
So the
last
first
year,
bunch of message is all Hani stating what happened, right? Mm-hmm. These are all from Hani. I was just in the 4th floor hallway practicing in the dance room, and the elevator room. She's talking to Mini Jin. 3 of the islet members and 1 of the managers came out, and I greeted them as usual. All 4 of them went into styling room, and I just stayed in the hallway. It was almost time to depart, so like 5-10 minutes after that, 4 of them came out of the styling room again, and I heard the sound of a door opening. After that, I heard the manager telling them to ignore her and pretend I'm not there. So what she's claiming here is I heard a door open, and I heard Islet's manager going, "Hey, when you see the New Jeans girls again, he might have said Hani. If you see Hani, ignore her. Do not act like she doesn't exist." Right? Mm-hmm. Hani then said, "So as I was walking past, the manager didn't even look at me, and one member just kept looking at the manager and said, 'Yes, I'll just act like I didn't see,' or something along those lines." Mm. So she's saying one of the islet kids and their manager came out, and one of the managers probably gave the girl the look like, you remember what we just talked about? Mm. And then one of the islet girls goes, yeah, I'll just act like I don't see her. Mm. Next thing. So now I have to go over here. Now Mini Jin responds. She said, "Did the manager tell them not to respond to your greeting?" And Hani responded, "One member kind of awkwardly greeted me and avoided my gaze, and the last member did greet me, but it felt like they were really cautious about it. I'm not sure." Mm. Mm. And then in response to did the manager tell them not to respond to your greeting? I did greet them. I did. It's right here. It says, we didn't really need to do this among ourselves. So Hani's like, I don't really know why this situation's happening, right? So next we go up to 3. Mini Jin responded and said, "Ignore her? This?" And then Hani responded, "Yeah, we really didn't need to do this among ourselves." But when the manager said that, it felt a bit personally off. And then Mini Jin's like, "Did you actually hear them say it? Did they say it loud enough for you to hear?" And Hani responds, "Yes, I heard the door open, and then I heard it being said." And then Mini Jin asks, "Did all of the members of Islet ignore you?" And then we get a time break, so we don't really know exactly what they kept talking about. But the last set of messages over here, number 4, stated Hani saying, "See, I totally understand why the girls would be uncomfortable and awkward when they see us because there's been so much rivalry between our team and the media and inside the company, so I fully get that." And she wrote that one in English, right? And then she wrote, "Honestly, it wasn't so much that it was uncomfortable, but more, to be honest, it was funny. It really made me once again realize that I'm working with such great people at Adore, and I honestly can't believe that those people," she means B-Lift, "at all. So you don't have to worry about that." So that's the extent of this conversation.
Okay, just so we're clear, you are reading direct quotes from the Kakao Talk messages.
Yes, I'm just reading translations of these Kakao messages.
Yes, okay. Just so we're clear to the listeners at home.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this is Hani's account and her discussion with Mini Jin directly.
Right, okay.
So the things people are talking about here, there's a couple things people are talking about. On the pro Adore hype side, right? People are saying the narrative that, what Hani said was like, she said, "I don't really think it was like that big of a deal." She says, "I get why they did it. I totally understand why they would be uncomfortable." But the narrative is that it was Min Jin who was really focused on this ignore thing, right? Because she replied to it saying, "Did they really say this? Did you hear them say it? Was it audible?" So people are saying like, this bullying thing, which all has to do with this ignore thing, the narrative online is saying, no, it was Min Jin who made this mountain out of this thing that Hani didn't even care about. And then they went with it, right? That's what the Adore hype side is saying. Whereas the Nujin side is saying, look, Adore even released these text messages, right? And in these text messages, it says that it said that me, Hani, I said that one of these kids agreed to not greet me or to ignore me, right? So their side is saying, look, the Islet girls literally did it because Adore agrees with it because they released this to the public as well, right? So both sides are trying to claim this as a win, right? Adore Hype side is saying, hey, look, Hani didn't even really care about this situation, right? It was Minijin who made this a big deal. Where the Nujin side is saying, look, even Adore is agreeing that I was ignored. So those are the two sides from these messages.
I think I kind of see, again, it's a little difficult to say, but I think it's understandable from both perspectives. Completely honest here. Like, from the way these texts read, you also have to consider the fact that Minijin, the crazy lady she is their CEO. She is the person who needs to look out and watch out for her artists. She needs to confirm and validate something happened and, raise it with the appropriate authorities. So in order to do that, she needs to confirm with Hani. She needs to be like, hey, did that actually happen? Because, that might be an issue. What Adore is saying that they are, saying that Minijin picked up on something random and used it as a, as a tool to shift the narrative
as the
Minijin.
Smoking gun in their bullying case, right? The smoking gun is this ignore thing.
Right. That argument also makes sense because, her trying to validate could also be interpreted as I have now valid evidence to put, I think all these texts tell me is that one, Hani thinks something happened and felt uncomfortable, and then Minijin was trying to dig something out a little more. Intentions, we're not going to be able to read that from fucking Kakao Talk messages. Yeah. What does alarm me a little bit with these Kakao Talk messages is that Hani herself doesn't seem super confident, if you know what I mean. Like she thinks
she's like
something happened and she feels like it was uncomfortable. And in my head, I'm like, is that really legal basis to start this entire thing? You know what I mean?
If it did happen, her initial statement here was like, I get why they would do it too, right? At least that's what the translation is. The thing in English, right? She said, I totally understand why the girls would be uncomfortable and awkward with us, is more or less exactly what she wrote.
Anita, we're gonna say something?
I get that sentiment. Yeah, no, I get that sentiment, and to me, I agreed with Warren in that statement of, I'm not necessarily looking at the intention of what was said or why it was said and what Minijin was trying to get at, but the fact that Hani voiced this concern by herself, she brought it up and she mentioned it in private, and then it was used in court. I think that's where I feel like, well, she felt something was off.
Well, do we know that? We don't know the leading context into the situation. We don't know what prompted Hani to send this message. It could have been.
That's truth. Well, we don't have the full conversation.
I believe that these text messages were submitted by Nujin's side, more or less saying, here's our first-hand account of what happened on the day that it happened.
No, I'm not talking about that. Right. I'm talking about we don't know what happened before the first screenshot. It could have been Hani saying, I have a concern, Mrs. Min, or it could also have been Minijin texting Hani and saying, do you have any dust against Islet? That could have, you know what I mean? We don't know what happened.
We don't know.
Yeah.
But the main thing people were saying is that because Adore also said these text messages are fine, they're like, well, Adore is admitting that something happened, That was what people were saying.
I wonder what their logic is. Maybe they think that Honey's comment.
Their crux is that the comment where they think it was understandable. So they're like, look, she didn't even think it was a big deal. Now we're making it the biggest deal, right?
Right.
That's what they think.
NJZ's.
This is on a personal level.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say on that comment that she says, right? That's in English, where she's like, I get why this is happening. I think that also correlates back to what we say about that it's not necessarily about the members, the Islet members, or any other group. It could have been any other group. It wasn't about the artists who did this. It was more about management making a comment and I
hate to say it, Anita, you're smart enough to realize that though. but the people online are not. That's my whole point about this, is that you're smart enough to separate what the management told them and what they did, where there are angry people online who are like, eyelid are bullies, right? And there are people on the other side saying, Hani's a liar, right? Those are the two things you're seeing. Neither of which is constructive at all towards this, right? So
it's the worst kind of conversation you can be having regarding this. Is like pointing your fingers towards New Jeans or eyelid, for fuck's sake.
Let's listen to what some of the sides said about this. Regarding this, Adore's lawyer argued Hani herself said it wasn't a big deal, but former CEO Minijin made the incidents worse by saying ignore it and pointing it out. Disguising the issue as a reason to terminate exclusive contract is nothing more than making up a false excuse. So this is them like, she elevated this, is what they're saying, right? More than it needed to be. Minijin, right? And then next, New Jeans wrote, the B-Lift Lab manager said something to our other artists in front of our member Hani, telling them to ignore and bypass her. In response, 3 of the artists passed by her without greeting her. Additionally, so this is another point, that this is one of the wrinkles that people are harping at as to why they're saying eyelid are quote-unquote bullies, right? Because it says right here, additionally, some of the members mocked Hani with their words and actions. But New Jeans did not specify what the words and actions that the eyelid members said to her. Now, you're probably thinking like, well, maybe that's like a mistranslation or whatever. But in the translation of New Jeans' slides, they have some of these Kakao messages, and the bullet point is, additionally, some members mocked Hani through their words and actions. We don't know what that means, though.
Okay.
No one knows what that means.
Quote in Korean, it says, 또한 일부 멤버는 말과 행동으로 채무자를 조롱. The way that phrase is written makes me think it's saying that there were other events other than the one presented from 2024 June 1st. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they're saying there's more, apparently. They just decided not to present it. Why? I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, because people are like, okay, this ignoring thing might be great, but if you got other proof that they were bullying her, put that out there.
Now is the time.
Because
evidence,
This is a hard claim, right? This is a hard claim right here. And people are harping on this part. And it's like, but we don't know what it was, so like, I don't know. Yeah. Additionally, Adore and New Jeans each interpreted the Kakao messages differently, but regardless of how the court proceeded, the fact that Adore's release of the full Kakao Talk messages, in which the eyelid member said, yes, I'll pretend to know to Hani, was revealed without filtering is a huge problem. You know, because they admit that something happened, right? Furthermore, the fact that Adore's lawyer claimed that Hani herself said that it was not a big deal, but former Minijin CEO made an incident out of it by ignoring it is not a denial of the facts themselves, but rather a claim that Hani said it was okay. That's true as well, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the people who wrote this article are saying it's weird that they, number one, agree that something happened, right? Number two, that you said, yeah, it happened, but Hani said it was okay, right?
It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it essentially, if you take the way New Jeans and Adore is, taking their stance on this, series of cut talks, New Jeans is saying this is evidence for bullying, right? We felt this way. I thought this way, therefore not good. Adore saying, look, this is all they got. This is not good enough evidence to say bullying happened. I think that kind of sums up how they what their stance is on each, on this piece of evidence.
So, yep, that's the main thing about the ignore thing. It took a extreme mental capacity for me to figure all this out and get it together.
Minutes, dude, yeah.
But that's the crux of it. So, Dispatch has this article, but it's on Naver as well, of like a summary of the entire injunction. Let's just go. They said there was 10 things that happened. We'll just go through it real quick. So the Seoul Central District Civil Division 50, they held the hearing regarding the preservation of the agency status and the prohibition of independent advertising contracts, right? We went over the ignore incident, right? We talked about that, what is it called, Warren? That term again? What has New Jeans, Le Seraphim, and...
Yuaru.
We talked about that already. Next thing. So there was apparently an incident with 1.2 million copies sold. Essentially, New Jeans side is saying, hey, these Adore/Hype people were trying to downplay our success in Japan. Adore side is saying, no, we just were saying that the 1.2 million copies meant Japan and other regions. We're not trying to say that they didn't do well in Japan or they underperformed in Japan. We're just saying it wasn't just Japan, which is a part of that number. That's the counter argument there. We went over the similarities between Islet and New Jeans. Number 5, the leaked trainee footage. Remember, that was a big sticking point. They're like, why did you leak our trainee footage? Adore stated, we requested dispatch to delete the footage 3 times. 2 articles with videos were removed. Over 200 related videos were also taken down. So Adore's like, yeah, we addressed it. We're trying to address it. We're trying to get rid of it. And just to remember, dispatch released the video, not Adore. So there's that.
Okay.
Now, did Adore leak it to dispatch? That's up for conjecture.
How did dispatch get it?
That's
Yeah,
up for
we
conjecture.
never know.
Next one, the Dolphin Group thing, right? So that's the group that New Jeans work with, who helped make the music videos. They wanted to. They posted the videos on their YouTube channel, and Adore was like, "F that, you ain't posting it." And Adore's more or less like, "Look, legally, with the contract we signed, they weren't allowed to put it out there without our consent because we have advertisers like Apple who had the rights to distribute it other than the music video." That's the claim there. Here's a big one: the advertising contracts, right? So Adore stated that, New Jeans said in the press conference they're gonna fulfill the contracted schedules and the advertisers, which they did. That went to the end of 2024. But then they said, we heard from people that they even contacted luxury brand advertisers with the intent of, quote, let's exclude Adore and form an advertising contract with just us.
Damn.
And on that day, New Jeans had no rebuttal for that. So
Damn.
It's one thing if New Jeans proceeds like, hey, we don't have anything to do with Adore, let's just go and get our new work. But it's another thing where they're like, F Adore, sign it with us instead, right? That's two different things is what's being here. Next thing, it's the whole Minijin tampering to try to get the contracts broken up thing, right? It's that one. Next one is future activities. New Jeans is like, look, Adore's basically blacklisting us. Their proposed 2025 activities were only planned after the termination notice. They weren't even going to plan anything for us before then. Adore's like, no, we've been trying to make shit with you since October, but you keep refusing to talk to us. So that's the 2 sides of that. And then they had some final statements, but, you could pretty much tell what they were like. The main thing here is that the one thing I saw here, New Jeans stated, quote, the CEO is also the member of our team. Right now, it feels like one of our members has been injured. I'm terrified of losing her. We are a group of 5, but in reality, we are like a team of 6. We want to stay with our CEO no matter what. Direct quote from Danielle.
Not something I would say in court.
And then Adore stated, the only reason we have filed this injunction is to continue to work with New Jeans. So that's where we are with this.
All right. All right. So let's step back for a second. The tampering allegations and the advertisement signing point, they did not have a rebuttal for that.
No, neither of those.
So one thing to keep a note of is this is part 1 of this court case. When is their next court trial meeting?
It's in a couple weeks, I think.
It's in a couple weeks. So we'll have to see what happens there. It seems like
these seem like the big points, like
tampering allegation is a big thing to pull out in a case that's supposed to be a little smaller than that. Advertisement rights, we'll have to see exactly how that plays out. I think it's fairly possible that New Jeans pulls up and they say, we had to say ignore Adore, something like that. So obviously, to add a little bit more of a PSA, Doug, Anita, the folks on Reddit, the folks on Twitter that we, source for translations, which all have, which are all available online, as well as the people leaving comments everywhere. None of us are legal professionals, so
Yeah.
take this entire conversation that happened in the past 47 minutes with a grain of salt, please.
I got 2 more points about New Jeans before we move on.
Okay.
One of them, there was a side claim, that New Jeans tried to prohibit them from wearing the black ribbon in respect for the victims of the Jeju plane accident. Quote, at the time, the members wanted to wear the ribbon on stage in Japan, but HYBE prevented us from doing so, saying that the, quote, Japanese station might have a problem with it, but after checking, they were told by the Japanese station that they had no problem with it. Later, we found out that the HYBE artists that were standing on the stage all were wearing a regular ribbon. If New Jeans had listened to HYBE, this would have been a target of criticism because we wouldn't have worn a ribbon. This is evidence that HYBE is trying to damage our reputation. So, of course, more information came out, right? While it is true that the HYBE artists were wearing ribbons on the stage, right, because of the Jeju incident, it came out that New Jeans wanted to wear special ribbons that I believe Hani made. And HYBE is stating, we cleared the regular ribbons, but we weren't sure that they would let them wear the personal ribbons, so we didn't know what to tell them.
Okay. That's pretty fair.
And New Jeans side is saying, hey, if we didn't talk to the station, we would have been wearing no ribbon and it would have made us look shit, which, right? So that's the 2 sides of that. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then finally, there were some tweets from Hani after the first day.
Oh.
What's up?
How can you take off one part of a conversation and shift the meaning of it to benefit your own point of view when I was the one that wrote the message while you present yourself as a company that wants the best for us? Additionally, she wrote, I have a lot to say, but I've been holding back simply because I don't see the need to have to escalate the issues any bigger than it already is. But if you have the audacity to make even more false assumption of us than you already have, then I won't stay quiet. Okay, here's one funny point I want to make. Not that I'm choosing a side here. I don't think you can escalate this any further than presenting this at the Korean Congress. Like, I feel like that's kind of the highest you could escalate this.
Okay.
And the other point people are saying online is, why are you saying now I'm gonna speak out? You're literally at court. This is the time to speak out, is what people are saying.
This is your moment. You have the mic. Please use it.
Don't be like, I'm not gonna stay quiet. Don't be quiet. This is the point. This is the time where you have to say something.
That is your duty. You have submitted. Yeah.
I wonder if this is in reference to the additional possible incidents that they're not showing evidence for yet.
Anita, you gotta show everything. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if they're gonna decide, like, yeah, let's bring out something else. I don't know for what reason they were avoiding it. I don't know for what reason they didn't show it to begin with.
Anita, that's what people are saying. Is like, why are you saying like now's the time to talk? It's already been the time to talk. You're at the court. This is your moment.
Man. We'll see.
So people were. I want to say they weren't. I'm not gonna say they were clowning on Hani, but people are like you gotta do it now. Like what are we waiting for?
Yeah, no. Now is the time. You have the mic. You're in court. Speak up.
Yeah. So that was people's reaction to that. All right, it's been a long episode. Let's try to wrap this up somewhat quick. So the other big incident that happened this week is 100, the label, claimed that Xiumin has been blocked from appearing on KBS's Music Bank due to SM Entertainment.
Oh no.
Damn.
Quote, recently a KBS unofficially conveyed that it would be impossible for Xiumin to appear on programs featuring SM Entertainment artists such as KBS's Music Bank. Although this position is difficult to accept, we continue to reach out to KBS with the message, please prioritize the artist and the fan. However, our attempts were once again ignored. We believe this situation indicates that the public broadcast station is blocking an artist's opportunity to connect with fans, not for musical reasons, but due to its relationship with a specific agency. If this unfair treatment continues, our artists will be unable to promote on music shows during weeks when SM Entertainment artists are active. So they literally named them at the end.
Okay, so 100 is claiming that Xiumin is not able to show up on KBS Music Bank because SM is blocking them.
Yeah.
Similar to how TVXQ got the blacklist treatment.
Yep.
Back in 2011.
Not unheard of.
Yeah.
KBS denied the claims, saying that it's groundless. We're
okay.
continue to work with their agency, so they denied that. If you're wondering who 100 is, their CEO is MC Mong. They contain IMB 100, which is the CBX label, just has EXO CBX, who has their issues with SM. That's objective. There's a lawsuit, right? And then they also have BPM Entertainment in terms of K-pop, which contains people like VVZ, Bad Villain, Imujin, Hasonghoon, people like that. Taemin, Ren, Isungi, right? There's that. MC Mong, the CEO, was pissed. Obviously, he was like FSM Entertainment is more or less what he said, right? It's gone to the point where other people at 100 are having to not go on KBS. So, NMIXX's Kyujin reportedly recorded her Imujin service episode alone on March 5th without Imujin. And he was absent due to the conflict between 100 and KBS because his show is on KBS.
Oh.
Okay, so at some point, someone in the label 100 said, "Hey, Mujin, we're having some issues with KBS. Don't go to the recording today." And then Mujin said, "Okay." So, but Gyujin didn't get that memo. Gyujin pulled up and she had to record by herself.
Oh,
and 100 also recently signed The Boys. And they're like, actually, no, they didn't sign The Boys. But The Boys were like, we can't be on the Imujin service because of this issue as well, you know?
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, they just signed with 100. So, yeah, it's one. So now Imujin and The Boys are both at 100. So they're like, yeah, we can't be on the show.
So none of them showed up.
None of them are going to show up that day.
Just so we're aware, though, previous SM artists who left SM to join this larger 100 label, they've had no trouble showing up on KBS so far.
Taemin,
like Taemin,
right, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 100 reveals Isugun and Imujin, who are both at 100, are like, well, they'll return next week to their scheduled shit, but we do not know about Music Bank specifically. That was the update over there. So it seems like an issue between the music shows specifically. Next thing that happened was apparently the label is also in a feud with SBS and Inkigayo.
What? Okay.
So apparently this stems over here. So according to industry insiders, the conflict between 100 and SBS's Inkigayo stems from an incident in September of 2024. Baekhyun was excluded from Inkigayo's signature next week video recorded for upcoming comeback. So he was omitted from it, right? They didn't even put him in, even though he's coming back. And 100 contacted them being like, what's up with that? He's coming back. And they failed. They had an argument with them. So since then, SBS has been boycotted by the label, leading to VVZ not appearing on Inkigayo when they came back in November.
Dang.
Damn.
This is going on for a bit then.
So they're having some issues with the companies in general. And I don't know if we don't know if it's correlated or it's separate incidents or whatever.
I don't know. Like, I this kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I'm not still sure how this plays a role, but like Taemin has been active on all the channels, KBS included. It's up there.
So
Why is that fine? You know what I mean? He was on it 6 months ago. I'm looking at it. Horizon Music Bank, August 23rd.
Yeah.
But that's before November. So
Yeah, what changed?
Yeah, what changed?
We'll see.
Why did if what they claim is true, why is SM only doing this? Can we believe 100? That's also the flip side of this. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Without proof, it's hard. But also, so the boys withdrew from a concert as well because it's being broadcasted on a KBS YouTube channel. So they had to pull out of a concert as well. So people are not happy right now. So that's that. Next thing, Kakao. So you remember Universe from back in the day, which was gonna fight with Weverse? Well, Kakao is now launching a Weverse competitor called Berries. All Starship Entertainment and SM Entertainment artists are expected to transfer to Berries soon.
What a weird name for an app.
No more bubble?
So that was the first Starship news, but we got bigger news. They are unveiled the new kids on Starship trainees. So they are going to do a competition survival show to debut their new boy group. And these are the candidates.
Oh, man.
There's this many kids to start out with.
No.
Wow.
21.
There's only 21. Better than produce or
Only 21.
Yeah, only 21.
So they did that, and then they unveiled the highlight medley of the group already. They got 8 songs already prepared.
Wow. Okay.
So there is
Off you
that.
go.
Interesting.
Next thing we got is Overwatch announced another collab with LE SSERAFIM. You remember Perfect Night, how big it was? Well, they got another collab coming in the works.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I mean, Overwatch needs help right now because Marvel Rivals is kicking its ass. Like
shit.
there's a new game on the block, so they really need some help. The next thing that was interesting, Bloom. You remember we talked about them and their issues and whatever going there?
Mm-hmm.
They released this trailer, right? It's kind of like meta in the sense that they're talking about their own situation. And the ironic thing is it's kind of horror themed. And they sing Cupid like a horror version of it at one point in this. Like, it's creepy.
Oh my god.
And they're kind of responding to the haters and be like, watch what we're gonna do, yada yada yada.
All right. Okay. K-pop Eve. I'm here for it.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, what will you do to make the world listen? Is what they said.
Oh.
So yeah, they're coming back with a vengeance apparently.
Damn. Okay.
Okay.
So there's that. 17 Wonu going to the military, kind of said there. Dreamcatcher, this one dropped today. Handong, Dami, Gayan have decided not to renew their contracts with the company, Dreamcatcher company. They will continue to engage in the group's activities. We don't know what that means. Jiu, Sua, and Yuyan are making a unit. Shion is going to start a band.
Oh.
Okay.
Off to be a band, man.
People think they think Gayan wants to be an actress. They think Handong's going back to China. They think Dami wants to work in production and not as an idol itself. That's what people.
But they're still going to be involved in group activities?
But people think it's sort of like a Mamamoo situation, but how's that going? Right? So, I don't know.
It took a national catastrophe to bring them back together, so.
And people are saying we're in the age of the extinction of the mid-tier, upper mid-tier girl group right now.
Damn.
People are very. I'm pretty sad about this, to be honest. I was a Dreamcatcher fan.
This feels weird, man.
Next one, Becco leaving Pledis after 13 years this man put in at that company.
Wow.
He is leaving them.
Wow.
You remember Alexa had extreme investment in her stuff with ZB label?
Yeah.
She's leaving that company as well. So she is leaving that company. She's releasing a couple more songs that she's contractually obligated to, and then she's donezo there. We got Kai solo concert tour. Not in the US yet, but we're going to Asia first. And then finally, Wango Tango from Kiss FM. I only noticed this is in Huntington Beach in California. You got a headliner of Doja Cat and Gwen Stefani, but who's on the second line? Cat's Eye with Megan Trainor, David Guetta, NMIXX, Zykers,
NMIXX?
Hearts to Hearts.
What?
Whoa.
Look at this lineup. It's weird.
Wango Tango.
Wango Tango. Yeah, Wango Tango, more like K-pop tango.
Yeah, Doja and Cat's Eye, Doja and NMIXX, Gwen Stefani and Zykers, Hearts to Hearts.
All right.
How rare is it? How rare is it for an SM group to just join like a thing, like this? It's pretty rare, typically. So that's all the news. It's a long episode. Next week though, SF9, Say My Name, LE SSERAFIM, NMIXX, The Boys, and The Wind. Boom.
Cool.
This has been SojuTalk Crew, Shot of K-pop. We ran really late today because of all the New Jeans stuff. Let us know what you think. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And here's an extra special shout out to all of our Fiesta Patreons on patreon.com. Bagel, Charles, Cotton Ball, Ellie, Gogu Mama, Honey Pools, Liam's Games and Toys, NJ Parks, South Texas Once, Siu Sumi. And thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. Thank you, really.